Why?
Um,
No, you go to the breach, man.
yeah, the breach, or yeah, I know. That's what I'm just saying in general, though. Like going to the breach, going to airship, going to whatever
Yeah.
you're gonna do. But Ziff, the reason for that is that XP it's exponentially grows how much XP you need to get up to certain levels.
Yeah, of
So
that I'm knowing. I know. Yeah.
you need to, but like I'm talking like billions of XP
Okay.
just for one skill to get up to one, what, like
Okay.
130 or
I'm in.
140. I don't even know. I don't know which one, but what there's. Oh, you're in
So
now. Okay.
to go from for Mondrevis to take his taming spec from 130 to 135,
All
we're
right, I'm
talking
gonna teleport now. So,
Okay.
we're talking like 300 and something million XP. And once you get it up to 150, you're talking about over a billion per point.
yeah. So like, let's say Bard specialization, for instance. The innates are even more expensive, but Bard specialization from 120 to 140. Well, to get to 120 is 163 million, and then to get to 140 is 1.09 billion.
Wow.
So, and that's just one skill.
Yeah.
So like it's insane. It's gonna seem really fast for you up until, well, even all the way up probably through 120. Adventuring level is probably gonna be really fast.
Yeah,
It
I'm at
slows
120.
down.
So
It
it's
slows down a
way to
lot
build
once
out.
you hit 130 plus.
Yeah. Yeah, 130 plus is super slow. This just costs billions at that point per skill. It is just not like, that's why too. It's like some people are like, oh, this person's got, like my character like has 170 GMs and someone else has 225. And it really has nothing to do with like how strong they are actually.
Yeah.
Like I mean, it
It's
could,
just
but
It actually,
really
like you
all
said,
that means. Yeah, the amount of GMs used to be a thing way back,
mhm.
and when attenuation was a million,
Yeah,
people would use it
yeah,
as a bragging point of look how many GMs I got.
yep.
It meant absolutely nothing.
Hmm.
Of course, at that time they were also talking saying there's no point in taking the skill past level 80 because the 80s, when you got your fifth tick on your card.
Hmm.
So they were saying there's no reason to go any further than that.
since the effort behind it, it's
Right. I
always
mean,
in compare. It's always versus the effort you need to put in. So it's we are always talking about the same kind of effort. It's just the number are different. Oh, that's the
ish.
dragon. That's so cool.
This is a this is
Spin to
a
win.
this is a very low level dragon. Just so like you will find some that are much.
He's.
Have you fought any large dragons yet,
Nope.
Sif? Okay.
I've
Well,
seen
you're gonna
some.
have fun on some of them. I just did the Ulfheim dragon again for fun, which is not hard for me, but the first time I did it by myself was like intense. I don't. Do you remember the first time you did that, Nefario, the Ulfheim dragon?
Oopsie.
Yeah.
It is a fun little kind of quest thing and boss at the end
Zip,
of that
you can
one.
skin that one.
Let's try
Yeah,
it.
Zip, go ahead.
I wouldn't even take it.
Actually,
I would
that
just
that
do it.
might be kind of fun to go to Alfheim with him and
Hang on.
take him through that, and then
How
let
do
him
I
see the giant
skin it?
dragon.
Oh,
It's pretty neat scene.
Yeah, and he's pretty big. I definitely say he's one of the bigger ones until you talk about the Aether Dragon. So I don't. I think he has almost 30 million. No, he has 20 something million. I think he's the same as the ancient. Yeah,
Yeah, he's like the size of an ancient dragon.
ooh.
I
and
don't know
both
if he's
of
as
them.
powerful or less, but I mean,
He's a pain. I can tell you that.
yeah, but I mean, even my croc can just take care of
Yeah,
him.
solo him. Yeah,
I could just heal my croc and then I hit him with auto shoot, arrows
I'm
and
perfectly fine doing that, but I'm not going to take this tune to go do it
I
because
mean, well, we could all do it. I can do it on my own, so I will be okay. You could take your character if you want to build him up. I'm just saying that we're not gonna. I doubt you guys are gonna die or anything.
Well, I'll probably die. It's gonna be that room that right before the dragon busts through the wall.
Yeah, but I mean,
Oh, do
then
you
what's
need the
the what's the?
cathedral with the dragon outside that bust in the wall?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I did it.
Oh, you did it?
Yeah, I don't
Oh,
know
good for
who
you.
carried me there, but I was carried in
Hey,
R10
right now.
R105.
Well, cool.
So
That was fun.
technically, I didn't do it.
But you bet.
Ah, yeah, before the
Yeah.
catastrophe.
Yep. Come on.
Yeah, these
But I
spikes.
mean,
These
my
these spikes are amazing for leveling your combat or your passives, like in the heavy tree and stuff and earth. Those spikes are freaking amazing
Why so?
because they do next to no damage when you're out of combat, and they power level those skills.
nice.
Oh, this is the entry of Tartarus.
Oh, hey,
Ah,
1 second, guys. I'm gonna let my dogs outside.
Yep.
well, that's my first time doing it properly. It's cool. Now I don't have any shame on using the portal. Yeah, I kind of miss the old days in a way that the social aspect of the game was more needed than now. Now the knowledge is out there. So you don't need as much of a sharing process to learn the game if you want. Or zone in which people will play, but they will be different level in it. Level cap restriction for XP sharing. That would be something good. What the hell? There's a door here.
Yeah, there's a chest back here in the back sometimes.
Okay, that's a first. Okay. You have your light. You're good.
I do. We're just gonna go busting straight down to the bottom because, well, I guess it doesn't matter. You know your way around this place, though.
A little bit, yeah. I wouldn't go there, but yeah.
All right, sorry about that.
$5.
Let me just buff up here real quick.
Yeah, I got a big surprise.
We
The
got a
friend that
mimic.
came in just offered me a job. Oh, that is so cool. This one, the first time I saw that, wow, mind blowing. Is it random or it's always there?
No, it's random.
Oh,
I mean, the chest is always there, but it could be a mimic or it could be a treasure chest.
oh, I love that. It doesn't happen enough, though.
There's a chest that's in the breach that can be.
I saw one
But
in the beginners zone.
Yeah.
Don't remember. Solace Bridge, I think.
Mhm.
1 second, Ray. You gotta wait for your brother.
I don't want to wait for my brother. I want to go now.
Yeah, she really wants to go outside.
Where is the door here? Oh, I see it.
Yeah.
It's here. This one. Is it one?
Yeah, it's right there.
Oh, this one.
Yeah, I just want to go kill the elves.
Yay!
There's an elf killer. Stop running so much.
Yeah, to be 100% honest, 99% of the stuff I do is solo. Only, pretty much due to the fact that my character can kill anything in the freaking game that exists, except for the
Yeah.
ice giant. So, I mean, it really comes down to I just, yeah, I had to create a new character to play with other people because
No challenge.
it was pretty much there's no challenge. It's a run through for everybody.
Yeah.
And it's no longer, it's at that point, it's,
Hey, there's a
hey,
boss here,
Mondravis,
right?
let's go for an XP run. There's a zombie or a skeleton
Yeah.
archer guy
Wanna do it?
that just, ow.
Dude.
He's rough.
Oh.
And it has to do with the
It
zombies that are around him.
Oh.
I mean, if you want, we can
Oh
try.
no, I died.
Oh, well, see, that's why we were kind of running through.
What is that here? Dude, I see a port. Level 3? What the fuck?
Yeah, if we're gonna do
Hey,
that,
hang on. Look at my screen. I'm gonna show you what I'm seeing.
hold on, we're dealing with a lot here.
Okay.
Stop running away, you stupid crocodile. Get that guy. There you go. Attack him. Can be kind of like herding cats with your pets sometimes. All right, let me grab you now. Zip.
Okay.
The only way to keep the crocodile in check is by putting him on passive and controlling who he attacks. Otherwise, he just goes
Yeah,
wherever.
but not in this kind of group though. I'm not putting them on
Yeah.
passive. Yeah. All right. Oh shit, you're both. Don't die. That's my suggestion, guys. Don't die.
Why am I stuck? There I go.
Because these guys done you or whatever. They're a bunch of jerks.
I think I jumped myself into a wall.
Oh, okay. Well, that will do it too.
Charged myself into a wall.
Zombies have, especially petrified zombies, have a huge amount of HP. So they are tougher than they seem tougher than they are. But then they group up on you like that, and it's annoying.
Yeah, they're the ones that make that room rough. I mean, that archer guy is tough anyway, but he's the one that makes it rough. You know what? That's another one that sells for a ton. We're talking 30K per common. Is that helmet or that hat?
Yeah. It used to be worth way more though.
I know.
But 30K
Before-
is decent.
It's because it has a speed increase and people want it for their mining set.
I have
Because people.
I want it.
really. Here, one second. I'm gonna grab my. Here, I'll teleport down, but I gotta grab my dog. 1 second.
So that's the portal. Where does it go?
Tartarus maze.
Oh. And we're meant to go here?
Yeah.
Cool.
It's a good leveling spot.
You gotta wait for your sister, and you can have food.
Hang on.
All right.
Summon my pet.
But I mean, that's still the only place to get the captain's hat, right? Or does it drop elsewhere?
Yeah, that's the only place.
It should be more than 30K per common in that case, because that's actually not that quick to get. You more than likely need to have more than one person for most people.
Yeah,
And-
because he's tough.
Yeah, so getting
You
it
can
is
solo
slow.
him pretty easy, but I mean,
Yeah, but I mean, in
That-
general, though, that's asking a lot of a lot of the player base. 30K just seems kind of low.
it does. Well, I mean, when someone's trying to build up an epic, and that's about how much the tamer stuff went for.
Yeah, but that had an easier area to farm it. It was much easier for
Yeah.
me to farm taming gear. Well, not the chest piece, mind you. That was very expensive though. But
Yeah, we're talking $1 million to $500,000 per chess piece.
yeah, that was insane. Now it's like I have so many extras. It's just
Yeah.
crazy.
That's where you get your taming gem that gives you like an extra 20 taming levels for your weapon.
Yeah.
Well, you can put it on your chest piece too, since you don't wear the taming chest.
What do I have now? I have the ring. Yeah, I do. I have the Ringmaster's vest.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, legendary one. Not epic, but I didn't bother upgrading it on this one.
I didn't even pay attention. You know, if you go to the stag helm instead of the bear helm, it'll like dramatically increase your DPS.
I like the I don't think I have the stag epic. Oh wait, I think I have a legendary stag helm. But I like this one. I think it was just this for the taunt power. Although it might not need that with this type of pet though.
Yeah, you
Because
definitely
this
don't.
one has aggro like crazy.
Can you try to change that loot to roll? Because I'm getting everything.
Oh, is that why I haven't gotten anything?
Yeah, probably. And I don't mind divvying out the artifacts I got.
Yeah, let me go to the
So on Rogue, you loot, but it's split up. Is that right?
Right.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's on roll, the loot mode.
Then why is it?
That's interesting. Yeah, because I haven't received like any artifacts because we've been down here for a while. I haven't gotten anything. I don't know why. Here, let me make you guild. See if you can. It was on roll though.
And what happened if you master loot? You take everything, right?
Master loot. I'm assuming.
Master
And then-
loot, you divvy it out to who you
Yeah, you
want,
divvy
kind of
it.
deal.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. I don't know what's going on with it, man. It was set to roll.
Yeah, but it was set to threshold 0.
and
Oh, I didn't even see that.
what does it mean?
I think that means it wasn't gonna actually roll anything. I wonder if I have to turn that
a
to 100.
needlessly complex addition to the roll.
It rolls or it doesn't.
There's a lot of things that, in my opinion, in this game that are needlessly complex.
Well, usually you don't have to do anything.
No, but still, even still, it should just roll, don't roll, master. Those are fine. Like, just leave
That's
that
it.
simple.
It's working.
All right.
It was the threshold.
Yeah, threshold needs to be 1. Whatever the hell that means.
So you were master looting, pretty much. No, you were free
Yeah,
for
just
all looting.
free loot.
He was just taking. He was
I was being greedy.
salivating.
Good
and
for
just
you, man.
Rubbing his palms together. Couldn't wait to sell all this shit.
Sad thing is, I'm sitting here wondering why.
He's like overloaded, overburdened, or whatever, over encumbered.
I am encumbered.
Do you want
Can't
me to
you see
hold
I'm
on
doing-
some shit?
I already tossed all the potions. Yeah, after we kill
Yeah.
these guys.
There's always some guy coming up behind me that I have to. Like, luckily, got the croc, but
Why are guys always coming up behind you? So many questions.
no, I am flaunting it.
What does mean flaunted?
He's
like I'm
throwing
showing
it out
my
there.
ass, yeah. Like I'm calling for attention.
Oh, okay.
Where are you from, Ziff?
Quebec, Canada.
Oh, cool. I
French Canadian.
have studied French for decades, literally off and on for decades. And guess what? I don't speak French.
Here,
I
let me give you
wonder
some random
why. Because I could
was
say the
engaged
same.
to
I studied English for at least 12 years and couldn't speak it.
Yeah, because you just studied it, right? You didn't actually speak it with people.
Oh no, we were at school, but school is
But
supposed to
did you
teach you.
actually like? Yeah, but I mean, were you speaking in English all day, all the time, or were
I was
you?
following their lead, so
I'm not trying to blame you. I'm just saying the way it's taught a lot is just like,
you nailed it,
like,
Drew. That's what I was trying to say.
yeah.
School sucks to learn anything about
Well,
language.
I was engaged to a woman from France for some time, and we were together, and we're still friends. I didn't learn anything from her. Nothing, except
So
for how to
at least do
read and
you
French.
understand the word merci?
Sure. I can read and write better than
Oh,
I can speak and hear and understand. But even now that's really low level again. But I mean, if I like studied for like 2 weeks, I would jump back up to a higher reading writing level again. But like whenever I go back to it, it's like I'm usually like whatever level I'm learning at, I'm at the advanced end of it just because I've done it so much. But I've never spoken it with people. I've never had full conversations for days with other people in French.
oh,
Like I just passed the classes and erased it from my brain. You know.
And
yeah,
let's be 100% real. The stuff you learn from classes is not the stuff people speak.
pretty
No,
much.
I mean, but it is very very helpful
It does
to
gives you a
learn.
base on which you
Yeah.
can grow up. Like
Yep.
at least I knew that if I want to say it's a blue shirt, I should say blue shirt and not shirt blue.
Yep.
Since in French it's gonna be shirt blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at
But
least
at
it
least
Because
told me
I would
I,
know
few of
what
I
you
these things.
meant.
Huh?
I would know what you meant though.
Yeah. But it will sounds weird.
But what's great about, yeah, but then you start saying that stuff to me, and then and you're saying, you know, I've got a shirt blue or whatever, and then I might say to you, oh, that's cool, but by the way, you say blue shirt, and then you learn now all that academic learning was worth it, because now you were able to understand the person telling you how to actually speak.
Yeah.
And then
But you know what?
so
yeah,
I was like you said, writing, reading so
yep,
good that I
yep,
thought I knew how to speak, right?
yep, nope,
But
not me.
I was learning that on EverQuest. So
Ah,
when I went to Ontario, where it's English, I was pretty confident in my English. Like, oh, I don't know English, but at least I will be okay. And I went there, and what a shocker, dude! I went there, and I was just hearing gibberish. Like, oh yeah. Where is the word starting and ending?
mm-hmm.
No clue.
Yeah, that's how I feel about
that's
French. Yeah.
that's because the English that you learn in school is not the slang that we speak. So even if you have a
It's
base, the base isn't even a
Well,
base.
it's worse than that. The
but
people teaching me don't
it's not just
even know.
slang. Yeah, but it's not just slang though. It's the way we speak. Like when we're speaking, like you listening to me speak right now, I'm speaking really fast compared to the way you would learn it.
Oh yeah.
So like
The-
and then so words run together, right? But in French, it's like words depending on the way they end and start will run together differently too. So
yeah.
like when they go fast, it's like nonsense. It sounds like utter nonsense when you don't know it. And it's like
Yeah.
because I mean and it's funny, that's what really trips up a lot of Americans and English people that try to learn French is like
The
uh
gender gives such a
well,
vibe, different vibe.
the gender thing is really crazy too. But the thing about that is if you know pronounce le or la or whatever differently, someone will know what you mean. They'll just correct you,
Or just let it go and still understand. I
or
mean,
just don't care.
yeah.
Some people will mumble it more. They'll be like, "Le," you know, say it really kind of
Yeah.
mumbly, and then they get away with it. But of course, then there's things like and un and stuff like that,
Oh yeah.
and then that might sound funnier, but people will get it. And
Yep.
but the problem is French Canadians very nice, but Parisian French people not so nice. So they might be very
Oh, that's another
condescending.
language and another culture too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty lucky with the actual French people I know from France. Like, but the one I was with for a while, she was not really the nicest kind of French person, even to me. So I mean, it was I mean, she wasn't horrible or anything, but they have a way of they don't like to be corrected in their English if you're trying to help them, and then they don't really like. This is probably not true for everyone. I shouldn't be talking generally so much, but they don't like to help you so much. So that's why I
it's
just
more
never learned how
about
to speak.
where they live, and
Yeah.
they are facing multiple culture at the same time.
Hmm.
They are like New York. Like there's so many
Yeah,
peoples
in
that
Paris.
speak
Yeah.
different language, different culture, trying to mix up. There's no assimilation. They're just dividing.
Yep.
And Paris
No,
is
it's very
exactly
divided
the
in
same
Paris.
too.
Yeah.
It's probably even on a higher scale than New York, since
Oh yeah, definitely. Paris is way more segregated than probably any city besides maybe Tokyo or something. But like
oh no, not Tokyo, dude. They are so xeno. You don't have a
I know
trouble there.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like there's just like if you are an outsider of that, like if you're from the Philippines or something, like you're just
You're done.
yeah. There's no. I was in college. I was going out with this girl from Okinawa, and she was writing a paper. And I back when in college, I would tutor ESL people in how to write English papers.
Yeah.
And so I was helping her with that stuff. And she was she's a very sweet, nice person. She's not like a horrible person or anything. But she comes from a different culture, and she comes from a culture too that is very xenophobic.
Yeah.
And they are, and she was writing about racism in America. Was what for whatever I don't know what class it was.
Yeah,
I think it was an
yeah.
anthropology class or something. And she was talking about I can't remember her thesis exactly, but it was regarding um, the type of racism here and whatnot and stuff. And she had made a comment in it that we don't have racism in Japan, basically. That's not exactly what she said, but that was heavily implied. And I was
Yeah.
like, so I found this part interesting here. You said that you don't have experience with racism in Japan because it doesn't seem to exist like it does in America or whatever. I was like, is that true? Like, you really feel that way? And she's like, yeah, we don't, because there's no one going around like they having like a word like the N word or whatever that she might be comparing it to. And I'm like, okay, so let me ask you a question. Let's say me and my wife are from the Philippines, and we move to Japan and become citizens or whatever we do, and then we have a child, and the child is born in Japan but of Filipino heritage. Is that person considered Japanese or Filipino? And she's like, oh, Filipino. I'm like, okay. So, and I'm like, so you don't see how that might be construed as racist by the Filipino person that's born in Japan and is a citizen? And she's like, she stopped for a moment and she said, "Oh my God, we're so racist."
Yep.
And let's
And then,
not mention the white people that they won't give living quarters to because or renting quarters to.
yeah, but you see, then too, yeah, they don't see it.
The double standard that they don't see since
Uh
it's
huh.
their culture. They're living it.
Yes,
It's an echo chamber that they don't even see.
yeah, but then she realized, oh, that is racism. That isn't just and just there's all kinds of things that are they just don't look at it the same way, and
Yeah.
then they realize. But other people from the Philippines or whatever country that have to live there are being marginalized. They don't. They definitely see it as
Oh,
racism.
they
They're
feel
not
it
happy
too.
about it. Yeah,
They don't just see
but
it, they feel it with their bones.
yeah, it's one of those countries where the name of your citizenship and nationality is a race to them, and it's like it's not entirely true, obviously, in a changing
It's
world where like
defined
people are
in
yeah
tangible. It's super
yeah
real for them. You are Japanese. Oh, and even if you're a Japanese, if you go outside, you become a foreigner. It's
yeah
it's to this extent. That's insane.
yeah they're but yeah, but anyway, it's it was hilarious, her reaction, and then she started talking about more stuff that I didn't even know, and I was like, well, that's interesting. But it was it's funny how blind you are to your own culture until you travel
Yep.
and stuff. But
Yeah.
I moved to the
That's
southeast. I'm from Minneapolis, Minnesota, in the north of the United States,
yep.
and I moved. I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina now, and even the change going to the southeast it's like a different country.
For
Like
me,
it's
going
yeah,
to English people was
yeah.
such an eye opening. I already know. I already knew that Quebec was uh had problem. Like I know living here in Quebec, you have to accept that peoples are redneck from the get go. The culture is like that. It's the same way it feels like people from US think about Texan, the redneck,
Uh-huh.
are like more Texan than anything else. Like you talk about rednecks, it pictures Texan in the mind. That's how I see
I mean, I would
Americans
say that
seeing
depends
Texan.
on which region you're from,
Okay.
because it's so big and there's so many. I mean, I'm from Minnesota. I'm from Minneapolis, Minnesota, which is not. It's. I'm from the city there. I'm not from the country at all. But if you
Yeah.
go to northern Minnesota, there are definitely rednecks in northern Minnesota.
Yeah,
Like,
actually,
Sure.
rednecks is more like people that keep their eye closed. They don't want to
Mm,
evolve. They don't want to uh, kept their minds open to the
well, I mean, I guess
possibility.
it depends on what your interpretation of redneck is, because some rednecks might consider it like there's people who proudly consider themselves redneck, right? And they might have a different idea of what that means.
Okay,
Um,
I'm open to know what are the difference. That's the definition I build up
I
with
mean,
what I heard
the
and see.
original the original redneck in the first place was like kind of the beginner of the labor unions. They were people protecting the miners. So the companies and stuff would do some like really crazy stuff, and they would get the law enforcement involved and everything else to kind of basically half-ass enslave people into the mines and keep them at low pay and everything else. And then they would call in the rednecks, and they would basically come in and they would rough the management up to basically give the people their
Okay, okay,
I
okay.
guess more or less freedom. So, but even if you go off of that part, I mean, the rednecks of what people see nowadays is
mhm.
just more or less the poor white people
Yeah.
that are
Okay.
having to be more ingenuitive and everything else to be able to make their living. Now, granted, today they're also wanting to throw in the rednecks are racist and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
At this point, they're just changing the meaning left and right every
Yeah.
time you turn around.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay,
that's what
okay,
I'm
okay,
saying.
okay.
Like the meaning is
Okay.
exploited
No,
for different
so
things. Some
sorry.
people find it prideful.
I'm
Some
not
people find
using
it
the right
insulting.
word then.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm talking about people that are
Like a
uh
hick. You're
uh
thinking like a hick or like a white trash
Hillbilly.
hick or a hillbilly.
a stuck-up
But
people,
hillbillies too.
person.
Yeah.
A
Someone that
hillbilly will also argue with you about what a hillbilly is, though. So that's
Right.
the people from the
I mean,
hollers in West Virginia and shit are not going to. But yeah, they're
right.
but still they're going to be. But I would say someone who's from a very small, like a what's called a holler in that area, um, is a arguably, if they haven't traveled outside of that region, are probably in line with the they're not they're kind of closed-minded kind of and everything because they're what else they have no experience anywhere
But I
in
mean, if you're
theory.
talking about stuck up pricks that are closed minded to everything and don't want to change nothing, that's
Mm.
just a stuck up prick.
yeah, that was what I was
Well, there
thinking.
there might now you could take a Texan like let's say kind of like a redneck or hick Texan stereotype, right? And they're like, oh, nothing's bigger in Texas. We're the best or whatever. That there is that kind of there could
Texan
be that
pride is a real
mentality.
thing.
Yeah,
Okay,
Because
okay,
there
okay.
there
Texas,
is that.
as a Texan myself, Texas is the greatest country that ever existed.
Yeah. So
Okay,
it's
I see
there's
the
people like
idea.
that with Texas, and there's certain states that have
It's
that kind
state.
of.
It's more or less state pride than it is anything else. It really doesn't have anything to do with the person.
Okay.
And
Then
Texas too is so
but
big and it's
it
so
when it's
populous. There's so many
weaponized,
different
it's
types of people.
different. Like in Quebec, be proud of being Quebecois is weaponized against them because there's many laws that prevents you from learning English. It's built in.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, they don't say
Yeah,
it out loud. Yeah,
road signs are in French and everything. They're like
They're just one
retarded.
language. We are in we are in a bilanguage country, but not in Quebec. That's the
Even
double standard.
yeah, even people in Canada that are from other, the English speaking end, it's almost between the two of them. It hits the deepest part of prejudice that you can find.
Could you expand on that?
Prejudice,
I
prejudice
know
is
what
like
it is. I just want to
right.
see.
It's a distaste for each other.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I didn't see we had one back there.
I would say it's more. That's the let's say it's kind of the official way of dealing with stuff. Yeah, like the government, the media, or taking that route.
Right.
But the citizen itself don't really care. But not the redneck, but the stuck-up people, and there's kind of a bunch of them.
Are people? So who is it? Who is it that's considered redneck? Are the
No,
people from Quebec or?
No, I'm
Or the
sorry. I'm gonna
Ontario?
use another word. It's more stuck-up people, stubborn people that don't want change.
Stubborn. Okay.
The
I could
purity.
see how a redneck could be in that category. It would depend, though, of course. What
But it's
type of
just
redneck.
like a lack of vision. They don't
Yeah.
open their eyes. They don't want to see the truth. They prefer to hide themselves behind their ideology.
Yep.
So that's what I'm referring to. And in Quebec, that is a mantra. That is
What
pushed
about
so hard.
how about for the idea, like, what is a stereotype for that type of character in Quebec for, like, let's say intelligence or learning or technology use and stuff? Are they considered to not like?
Oh, they're not disliked. It's just that at school they will be indoctrinated in a way that they they won't see the possibility of going anywhere. It's built in the system to prevent people from going out of Quebec. The only possibility is France, because France is like the Lamech of
Yeah.
where you can go.
It's more of an isolationist attitude.
Exactly. In the preaching, in everything is built around that principle. We cannot be assimilated. But the problem is, yeah, but doing that makes it like we have to hate others. Like American is the bad. That's it.
Yeah.
And that's stupid because I mean, if American want to get control of Canada, they just have to say it, and we will say, okay.
Yeah, there wouldn't be much of a battle on that.
Nope. There's a saying here like if American get a cough, we are reacting to it. We are the one that is acting on. I don't know the word for like. What is the word for that?
Coughing.
Coughing. Yeah. So if the American get a cold, we are coughing.
Oh, I see. Yeah, if they get a cold, then you're the cough. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how dependable we are on American.
I've heard that. Yeah. But so you're saying though, now, if an American wants to be a tourist in Quebec, is it?
They won't feel it.
Expect they what?
They won't feel it.
They won't feel what?
They won't feel the
the animosity, or
yeah. They won't see it because
so
even if
okay.
they want, if we could, we can't because we don't speak the English. So the people that could, they can't.
Wow. Okay. Is that now in Montreal? Is that like is that different there?
Okay. Let's. I'm just gonna repeat the word that a woman that lives in Montreal said this week. She said Montreal is the most French in all Quebec. Okay, meaning that. Oh no. Okay. The mayor of Montreal said
Yeah.
on Thanksgiving, Canadian Thanksgiving,
Uh-huh.
she posts on social media. Good Thanksgiving in both language. So she offered her wishes for both English and French worker.
Yeah.
But a redneck, a stubborn woman that do
Xenophobic one.
kind
Or
of,
whatever.
yeah. I'm guessing
Kind of like
she's
Quebec
more of
xenophobic.
it's probably more theatrical. Like she's doing that on
Yeah,
public,
yeah,
but
yeah,
in her private, she's probably not. But yeah, there's just one message that you will hear in on TV. So she was saying, why did she do that? And Montreal is the most French of all the cities, and you cannot be more wrong than that, because if you want to speak English and live in English, that's pretty much the only city you can do that. There's there's um there's how you call that, harbor, county maybe, in
Oh, okay.
I don't know, but Montreal is a conglomerate of many cities,
Yeah, like a
and
metropolitan.
yeah,
Or
it's a
something.
metropolitan, and some of those parts are purely English. Like you step in and you
Okay.
change
That's
world
fine.
pretty much, and you can do that with the Jews. With it's super multicultural. So
Yeah.
people that
So that's
comes there,
a different area than
yeah,
the other.
and everyone is bilingual there. If you deal with the commercial, with the shops and stuff like that, storage, everyone speak both language, pretty much.
Okay.
And you have chance to speak just to only English people too, since peoples that
Oh,
lives in
but
Montreal.
the rest of Quebec though is just
If you go outside of Montreal, if you go to tourist space, you're good. Like Quebec City, if you go for uh, the the highly touristic sites, you won't have any trouble. But if you go a little bit sideways, oh yeah, you're gonna hit a wall. Like Three Rivers, or in French it's gonna be say Trois-Rivières. If you go there, okay, you might have some trouble a little bit, but I would say that's pretty much the last place you can go. Oh, Sherbrooke would be good too. Yeah, Sherbrooke is close to the border, so you would be good
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
So it's like Mexico. You stay in the tourist areas and you're fine. You
Yep.
go into the other places, then you might get in trouble.
Yeah, you
Yeah, but
won't.
what
The
kind of
safety
trouble are
is
we
good.
talking?
Like
Yeah.
you don't have any
Okay,
trouble with
I'll just
safety,
say-
maybe.
I was just say in Mexico, the trouble is safety, and you're
Yeah.
talking anywhere between getting mugged, killed, or put into the human
Hijacked
trafficking.
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, slightly different. It's just about details, you know.
Right.
But still, the animosity is there.
I'm not talking about the similarity. I'm not saying that you're going to get your ass kicked. They're just going to treat you in a whole different way.
Like if you try speaking English, you're gonna be like, "Quoi?
Yeah,
Quoi?"
they're going to tell you to call you trash and tell you to get the hell out of there. Don't want trouble here.
I would say probably not anymore, since
Oh.
you will have to deal with
Get
kids,
down.
and the
down.
kids are rejecting massively what they are learning, because they are living on YouTube, they are living on social media, and that is just messing with the
French first
with
mentality.
the government propaganda. Yeah,
That's the same everywhere too. Yeah.
I was gonna say what it sounds like to me is where you're at, or the French Canadian have the purest mentality. They want to keep it pure.
Yep.
Yeah, they even speak
And-
old ass French compared to France.
Yeah, I was gonna say they don't. It's not even the same French. They speak a more pure French than the French speak.
Yeah.
I mean,
It, I was,
I mean, it's like, yeah, I mean, but that's that's the same as American English. Also uses a lot of older English
yeah.
words than England does. But
Oh hell, England doesn't even speak. Even the English accent isn't the same as it was whenever America left English.
no,
You,
it's yeah,
the English, the old English accent, what it used to be. You know how in those movies that they show with those prim and proper girls of the rich colonists and stuff. You know how they,
mhm.
yeah, it's like a
No,
southern colonist mix.
they sound. If you know what the
Yeah,
Devonshire accent is like, it was more like the Devonshire accent
yeah.
today.
The the new accent is way different.
Yep,
Right now,
it's a non-rhotic
Hmm.
accent, which isn't what it was. But
but it's
yeah,
changing a lot.
it's crazy.
For
Yeah.
example, in Quebec, it changed a lot because with Generation X, whose is pretty much a generation that just don't give a fuck about everything.
Yeah.
They're not buying that shit. They didn't buy it, and now they're the next generation of leaders. So
Do you mean
I-
Gen Y?
no. Gen Y
No,
is
Gen X.
Gen X.
Gen X is even the generation in the United States. The Gen X is still the generation of I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
but he's saying that he's talking about a newer generation though.
No, it's the generation that's starting to take control. Because right now, it's like even in America, you look at the people in office right now. It's a bunch of people in their like
Boom.
60s and 70s.
Yeah, they're the boomer generation.
Yeah. But I mean, I would consider. I mean, Gen X itself also starts in the 1960s. So I mean, it was just.
Yeah, but we're
Or-
talking about those that are late in that generation, like around
It's the ones. It's
70
the ones that
and
were
80.
born in the 70s and 80s. Yeah.
No, Gen X
Or the
is
early 80s.
1965 through 1980.
It depends on who you talk to. That whole generation
okay.
thing. That thing.
Let's change
so
the
much.
subject and saying the generation don't give a fuck. That generation.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
in Gen X, there's a mixed up of both. Those that are like
Because
boomers and
you're basically
Yeah.
talking about people under their 50s, basically.
Yeah, in their
yeah.
40, or upper 30s and 40s, or mid 30s to mid 40s
yeah,
is the I don't give a fuck range.
those that
Yeah.
were
'Cause-
touching with the internet, with the gaming stuff, those ones that discovered that as they were teen. They don't have the same
How
mentality.
old is everyone here, by the way?
I'm 36.
Okay.
42.
I'm 40.
Yeah. So in that
Right in
generation,
it. Right in it.
because I'm what they technically call an exennial. I'm still in the range of the I'm still technically a millennial, but I was raised like a Generation X because it was still the same parents.
Yeah. You're just the last child, kind of.
Right.
Yeah.
That I'm still experienced all the
Yeah,
same things that
older-
Generation X. Yeah.
Older
Millennials.
Xennials and older millennials, and younger Gen Xers are very similar.
In mentality. Yeah.
Yeah, because they grew up in an era where it was like you grew up as a child in the 80s and 90s, and then you also
Yeah.
you didn't have the internet, you didn't have phones, you didn't have shit, you had to go play outside and
Yeah.
stuff like that, and you like and then just if you're born just maybe 4 years later than say whatever, you said you're 36, someone in their lower 30s had a completely different upbringing. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
I didn't. Cell phones came out and got really popular like my junior and senior year in high school, and I sure as hell didn't have one because it's too damn expensive at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had
So-
one friend in high school. I'm 40, and I had one friend in high
Right.
school, maybe two friends that had cell phones. That was senior year, and I had like two friends that had phones in senior year, but they worked for about an hour a week because they died like crazy, and like they couldn't make any calls. They were super expensive. Their parents bought it for them
Yeah.
just so they could
Yeah,
keep
it
track
was
of
an
them because they had a
emergency.
car. Yeah, and so like I didn't have a phone till 2004. That was when I first got out, and I was I was
Pretty
in my
much,
20s
yeah.
already.
And
Yeah,
you
I was
bought
like-
your own, so it's not the
I
same
didn't get
feeling
my
as
first
being
one
Yeah,
given.
until-
exactly. And it costs fucking $400 for a piece of shit too.
Yeah, it was those Nokia blocks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And blue
Motorola,
light
man.
buttons. I could call you. if I had the minutes, I could call you.
Right.
Yeah, no. So that's a huge difference because people are like, oh,
So,
like they kind of try to lump all millennials the same and all younger Gen Xers into like the same. It's like
but
it's not the same, man.
we were teach by people that were into the
Yeah, we were,
assimilation of French, that preventing that. So
yeah.
has
Hell, we weren't
that
taught.
type
We
of
were hardly
generation.
taught nothing. We were told to go outside until the street lights came on, and they didn't want to see us until then.
Yeah, too. Yeah, because they were
So
working their ass off too. So we
yeah,
were
and
self-taught almost.
they didn't want us tearing up the house or anything else. They were like, you need to go outside and play.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, no,
So-
it's funny though. Yeah.
The idea of being Xeno in Quebec is not there since because of those generations that are the people
Yeah.
that are doing the reception, are the host.
The more progressive,
Yep.
youngish.
So you won't get the feeling, but you will. The older people, yeah, maybe, but they absolutely do not speak English, and those that speak English don't have that problem since their mind is open. That's the funny thing. Everyone that do work with American or with the English part of Canada don't have
Yeah.
that mentality, but they are teaching people because they want to enslave the kids in not speaking English, not working with
They
social
want
media
to
anymore.
indoctrinate them with uber French ideals.
Yep.
Yeah, I was gonna say he actually used the word properly, which is rare here in America. It's true xenophobia.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know-
It's it is the
You know,
propaganda.
I do
of it.
appreciate that they want to maintain the French part of their culture, but they have to be open to change.
But you can't. If you want to preserve,
But-
you have
Okay,
to be this way.
There's a point. No, there's a point because there's traditions that we preserve here in the United States, especially in small towns, but there's days or events that we do that preserve that. It's not we keep our entire lifestyle because even in small towns, they have whatever day and they still do the same events that they did back in the day. People dress up and
Okay.
do all kinds of stuff to remember that stuff. But we're not going to live our entire life and be held back like the Amish.
Yeah, but the problem is that you can't preserve it for life. There's a limit to it.
No, you
No,
can't.
but I'm not advocating for preserving it as being the only thing. But I mean, just having it as in your lessons, like you should learn French and English, right?
It's
not
just good
just-
for you.
English, yeah.
Speaking two
You're not
language
just
is a
French or
must.
just yeah. Oh yeah, it's
Even if
I
it's
mean,
not
that's
French.
the part I like is learning French, being able to use the metric system.
Oh,
all
that's
kinds
a
of
good-
shit. These are good things, but yeah, if you're like, no, you can only speak French and you're not allowed to speak English. That's
Yeah.
crazy. That's the crazy part.
Sadly. And
I wish the English-speaking countries invested more bilingual studies in their children. Invested more in bilingual studies. That would be great. But English-speaking countries, they know that everyone speaks English pretty much everywhere you go. So people are like, well, why learn it?
they got a point though. I did
Well,
learn English because
I get the point, but still, it'd be nice if we spoke like people in France. A lot of people speak a second language, especially English.
especially
well,
English. I would
that's
say
because
that's the language you want to learn if you don't speak it.
Exactly.
English
But
is
when you
English
speak
is
it, you
the
don't learn
trade
anything.
language.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Trade language. That's exactly why I wanted to learn it.
Yep.
But
That's
So
why it's important.
If I had to
If we're
choose
gonna be
another one,
honest-
Spanish. They are taking over the world. They're insane.
To be honest, if there was a second language you would need to learn, because trade languages are the important languages because they are well known among, would definitely have to come across as like Mandarin, because that is the trade language of the Asians.
Yeah.
You want to talk about
Sure.
another one that's threatening to pretty much take over the entire world is the Asians anyway.
Yeah, but it's very spotted on the planet. It's like just in one area.
Mhm.
Like English is
Well-
global. Even if you go
Yeah.
in Chinese, they do speak English. Bad
Yeah, they
English,
do.
but it's English.
Yeah.
But I'm also at the same point. If you're going to plan on going to another country, especially if you plan on going there often to visit and stuff, you could at least take the effort to learn even just the basics.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm
Get
only
yourself
talking
around.
Yeah, yeah,
as
yeah.
us, you and I being English speaking, native English speaking people. If you're gonna learn something, it should just be for your own cultural benefit, like just being expanded and stuff in your mind and just getting to know. It's very great to know another language. At my best, when I was actually reading and writing French at a higher level, I mean, that was I felt really good about myself, and it was neat to actually like you like we're speaking with Ziff right now, and your English is very good, Ziff. But
Thanks.
let's say you are let's say it was a little bit less, you were still more in your studying time,
Yeah.
and you kind of judge people, like my girlfriend from Okinawa, like she had a thick accent, and she had a limited vocabulary, so but when she became better at English, and you're like, oh, this person is actually, not that I thought she was stupid, but you would think, oh, they're actually really smart. They say things that are smart, right? So like when you hear, but if you could just speak their language too, and like you could hear how intelligent they actually are, kind of thing, because people judge people based on the level of their language skill of that third for their second
To a
language.
certain extent, it does reflect, but
Well,
I
I
would
mean,
not
say
truly.
that kind of depends because
it depends on where they're at with the learning.
me living in the South like I am, regardless of how they want to say it. I've
Mhm.
when I work construction and stuff, I worked with a whole lot of Mexicans. They're great guys. I couldn't outwork them to save my life, no matter how hard I tried. Smart. Oh my God, they're smart.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, their English wasn't so hot, and there
No,
was
but
definitely a lot of help both ways to learn what they were saying. They couldn't Oh, I can tell you right now, they could not pass a Spanish class in high school to save their life because the Spanish they teach. That's another big problem I have. The Spanish they teach in school is more pure than what they speak in Spain, and that's
what?
an issue.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
not even connected with reality.
no, there's no, because I mean, no matter where you go, no matter where you go, there's slang. So
Yeah.
a lot of the traditional words that used to be that's pure, they don't use those words. And there's guys that I worked with. There was a Guatemalan guy that was in our construction crew for a little bit. When he started speaking Spanish, they couldn't understand a word he was saying because it's not the same Spanish.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, okay. But you have,
So I mean,
yeah, yeah.
what
There's a
are we
lack
teaching?
of uniformity in the language, but that's, I would
Even in
say, it's a
English.
color, it's a culture, well, taint.
Well, I mean, and it's like, I mean, I would challenge anyone to try to go listen to a Cajun and understand what the hell a Cajun is saying from Louisiana.
Yeah,
You want to
because
talk about rough English.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But that's the
So,
that's
but
the what
but
I call culture. I like that because when you hear a Texan speaking, for me it's like a music. It's just make me laugh. I love it. It's so joyful. But if they don't speak that way, I won't have that reaction. So I like it. For me, it's just a culture.
yeah, well, it is a culture thing. It's an area thing too. I mean, it's just
Yeah,
what you're raised around.
we have the same thing with the Quebec. You have areas that the words they're using is so messed up that wait, what? What do you mean?
But
It's
I
not
know, I
standard.
know, but even to the point, I know a lot of people, especially that I work around and everything else. If a guy ain't so hot with English or a chick ain't so hot with English, it's not up against anybody here to when they're trying to talk for us to turn around and help along with the words and everything else, get them, to help them learn. Because a lot of people that's learning a second language is not easy, especially learning it fluently with the slang. Slang
Yeah,
makes the language so much more difficult.
yeah, but it gives you texture, gives you
Right, it
depth.
does,
No,
but there's not a textbook for that.
no, absolutely. That's life. That's experience.
I mean, I don't understand a huge amount of American slang. So I mean, it just because, especially if it's generational, like differences.
Yeah, but that's
Like a
bullshit.
lot of anyone like under 35, like they have a different lexicon that I understand
Oh my god.
that I
But
don't get. And yeah.
Yeah, but they
like
will
right now, we're going ham on this Archer right now.
Yeah.
That's a word that kids were using about 5 years ago. Was going ham.
What does that mean?
It means, well, it's like we're going all out. We're you know,
Okay.
we're beating the shit out of them. Whatever. I mean,
So
whatever
when
you
I
use.
think of when I say ham as slang, like I think of hamming it up for the camera, like an
Right.
actor is really.
That's what
going
I'm
for
saying.
it. Yeah.
But going ham would means
Like
we're going all out.
in, going.
Yeah, we're
balls
going
to the
all in.
wall.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. There's even if you go to learn another language, if you're not learning that culture's language, and there's ways you can do it. There's I mean, there's people that are, you know, when a person from America goes to Japan to speak English, they're teaching a more slanged English anyway. Whenever they talk to them and actually have conversations, they actually get to experience the English that is spoke, not
Yeah.
the English that is taught.
Yeah.
I
And they
You know,
paid for it, you know? That's the funny
Yeah.
thing. They're really into doing it properly.
There's you know, but in two, besides like just like young people slang, like moving to the southeast, now in Charlotte, North Carolina, Charlotte is not really indicative of the southeast of the United States.
No.
It is a very it's mostly
Standardized?
transplants from around the country. Well, it's 60% of the people in this county are from outside of the state.
Oh wow.
So
It's a transplant.
yeah, it's not but and then even still though, even without that, it's more of like a major city like area of any state is always different from the outside area.
It's like you can't judge Texas off of Austin because Austin is a melting pot of everything.
Yeah.
It is not the same as rest of Texas.
If you if you go to Austin, that's your only experience, and you go somewhere else, you will be in for a surprise because it is not like Austin anywhere else. Well, maybe in some small.
Because, okay, I could tell you right now, the majority of Texas. I mean, you're gonna have some. You know, there's always going to be a deviation from the rule, but for the most part, people of Texas, they're really nice people. I mean, they're helpful, they're grateful, and everything else.
Yeah,
I would say that's the way I felt about them.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, but then again, at the same time, the further south you go in the United States, the nicer people get. I'm not exactly sure why that is.
For sure. I'm from Minneapolis, Minnesota, right? And now,
Right.
what is it you know about Minnesota? So Minnesota, you hear this term, this phrase, Minnesota nice, right?
Right, because
now that is really misleading because
it's kind of like Canadian nice.
Yeah,
it's not necessarily nice.
It's no, and in Minneapolis and St. Paul, Twin Cities area, it's totally different. That's not the same because that's the metro area, right? But still, even there, they're considered nicer than say Chicago or New York. But the difference with that is they're fucking fake in Minnesota. They don't like you at all, and they don't want to talk to you, but they're gonna be polite just so that you stop talking to them. They don't come up to you and be like, "Hey, do you need help with your tire? Hey, how's it going? Yeah, you know, and stuff like that. Like that's how they're supposed to talk." But like,
that's pretty much the same in Quebec, in Canada too.
Yeah, no one does that. If you come up to them and be like, "Hey, man, I got a flat tire. Do you have a jack?" They'll be like, "Oh yeah, okay," and then they don't want to say no, but they'll find a way to. It's passive aggressive. They'll find a way to say no.
If you were in the 80, it would be for real though.
God,
in Canada.
This reminds me. Okay, so I don't know how much y'all know about the slang of the South, but
well, I have a little experience now, but not much.
That's nice, and bless your heart.
Okay, I have heard some weird shit. Now, like I said, in Charlotte, it isn't so much like that because a lot of people are actually from New York.
Bless heart. McConaughey told me what it was, but I just don't remember.
Bless your heart means you're an idiot.
Yes. I knew that. Okay.
And then that's nice means you're stupid. But
Yep.
whatever you're saying is stupid.
It's just kind of like sarcasm as a slang. you
Yeah,
know, that
and
more or less.
it's
but
very southern way of being nicely saying.
but if you're a dumb northerner that doesn't know this and you go travel through the area, you might think someone's being nice to you.
But also in the South here, if you turn around and say, "Hey, I've blown a tire. I don't have a jack or whatever,"
And
you'll
that
have the dude go out there. He'll jack up your car. He'll change your tire for you.
man,
When you
that
try to
is yeah.
offer him money, they'll say, "No, I don't need your money. Just have a good day."
That was the point I was about to make too about Minnesota, how it's fake and they won't help you like that. But when I went to the South here, I am used to like walking down the street in the city, and not ever having to speak to anybody, right? If someone's coming up to talk to you, you basically tell them to fuck off because
Right.
they might be
What
trying
is
to
wrong
rob
with
you,
you?
or
Yeah.
they're trying to scam you or something.
Yeah.
And now if they're clearly someone in distress, in need, they need directions, that's different, like, you know. But
Yeah.
like no one's gonna come up to you and be like, hey, so do you like dogs or some shit like that?
Start
Like
a
so
conversation. Yeah.
yeah, and so I come to the South and I'm walking and I have people waving at me, people waving at me from their cars driving by, and I'm like looking
All the
behind me
time.
like what is this? And then like talking to me in the stores and outside of the stores, and they're like, and I'm like, I didn't know how to do it because I'm so cynical and like I'm kind of a dick when I'm in public. Not because I'm actually mean, but because I'm used to being cold and not having to talk to people.
Yeah.
So I had to like learn how to speak to people here because people will talk to you. And what he just mentioned about jacking up your car and stuff, I ride a motorcycle, and I take it to work. I take it everywhere, and it broke down, and this dude s- stopped on his bike, and he was truly like a true like charlatanian. He wasn't a transplant. Um, and he was like, "Hey, I've got my shop just a few blocks down the road." He's like, "I'll go get my trailer and I'll just throw it." And I'm like, "Are you sure?" And he's like, "Yeah, yeah." I'm like, Okay." And I was on the phone with the insurance company who apparently wasn't going to help me. And so and I hung up with them, and then he went and got it, put it on his trailer, brought me home, and then I offered to pay him, and he was like, "Why would I want you to pay me?" And I was like, "Oh, I
Because you
don't know,
helped me?
because you jacked up my. I mean, you took my bike and drove me." But I'm like, "Okay, good, thanks a lot." Like I didn't know what to say. He was so nice.
That's it.
Yeah, and in Minnesota when I was in Minneapolis, there was a guy from Texas, and he was there as he's like a traveling worker that does like labor work. I don't know what he was doing. But there's some people that travel and do infrastructure work in other states. And
Oh
stuff.
yeah, good.
I think
Most
we're
of it's
doing it
construction.
too fast, isn't it?
And
No, we could actually go into the middle. There's a
Yeah, we
there's
could
a
go
few
in the
more,
middle.
but it's just it's a maze in there, and if you don't know your way around, it kind of sucks.
Well, if you have your field of view out and zoom out a lot, it's easier.
Yeah.
I don't.
But no, this guy from Texas, my car had broken down. This was like 15 years ago, and I walked to the auto parts store, and um he was in there and he heard me talking. He's like, "I'll take you back to your car," and I was like, "Oh, that's nice of you." And he brings me back, and he spent 2 hours with me trying to fix the car. And I
Absolutely.
was like, "Do you want to leave?" I'm like, "You don't have to do this. I understand if you have to go." Like, he's like, "No, I got nothing to do." I'm like, "All right," and like I was very appreciative, but I didn't, you just don't know how to react
It-
because they're so nice.
It's out of the spectrum you're used to.
That's why I say don't listen. If you ever go to Minneapolis and St. Paul, do not listen to people from other places tell you about Minnesota nice, because yes, they'll be polite, but don't expect that to happen.
Well, it's like it's like I was saying about the Canadians being nice. That's not necessarily true.
No, definitely
They're
not. I've met a lot of
putting on a
asshole
nice
Canadians.
Nope.
they're putting on a nice front because
Because it's
that's what
about
they're
being
told
polite.
to do.
That's what the English do as well. The English, they're it's about being polite.
I would say though that if you are in the countryside and your plate is not from,
Yeah.
you will have the full service though, guarantee.
Oh,
But-
well, really?
but-
Because you're a stranger to the place, so
Oh, that's
there's
nice.
there's no question to ask. Like if I see someone, I won't do that for someone that lives in Quebec, but because I don't trust him. I don't know if what his intention is. He someone that is trying to get information and stole my shit later, no. But if I see a plate from anywhere from outside of Quebec, oh man, how can I help you?
Yeah,
First of
but-
all, I know that you don't speak French, basically, or I will presume that, and
Mhm.
everyone will do the same. Because yeah,
Well, that's nice. Yeah, I mean, I think it could be true in Minnesota too, like in the Twin Cities, that if especially if you're from another country, people are usually nicer. Um, of course, it depends on what country, because you know you have bigoted people and stuff.
no,
But
you have
besides that,
assholes everywhere.
yeah, you got that everywhere. But I mean, if you were like from England or France or something like that, especially, or Canada, people will go out of their way to be nicer to you. I feel like that's probably true. I mean, like one time I used to, when I lived in the middle of the city, like downtown Minneapolis, and I would ride my bike or walk everywhere. And I was right, and there's this street called, which confuses tourists. It's called Nicollet Mall, but it's actually a street. I've had people coming up to me like, "Where's the mall? I don't get it." I'm like, "You're on it, dude. Like this is Nicollet Mall." And but and anyway, Nicollet Mall, it's like all like really nicely manicured cobblestone and stuff. You can't drive your car on it. Only buses and bikes and police can drive on emergency services, right?
Okay.
So like I saw this person from Quebec with their plate driving and there, and like the police there are like hardcore. Like they'll ticket you because you're actually later you weren't even allowed to ride your bicycle on it. But
Oh, they're power trip police.
yeah, and so like this one guy I knew, and I used to ride my bike on all the time because I'm like, they're not gonna catch me. But but this one guy was riding his bike, and he got off when he got to Nicollet Mall, pushed it on the sidewalk, and he's pushing it down the sidewalk to go, park it wherever he works. And then the police turn on the lights and pull him over while he's walking on the sidewalk and gave him a ticket for having his bike on Nicollet Mall because technically it's still on Nicollet Mall. You're not allowed to even have your bike in that cop's eyes.
Wow.
And it was just, so I stopped riding my bike after that because I was bad enough with tickets. But no, but the person from Quebec though, I rode up alongside of their SUV and I'm like, telling them to roll down their window, and like they were really scared. They didn't want to roll it down. I think they thought I was trying to ask them for money or something. And I was trying to explain to them like you can't ride your bike or your car here and stuff. But I went out of my way because they were from a different country and they didn't know. If there was
Yeah.
just someone with Minnesota plates, I'd have been like, "Oh, I hope you get fucking pulled over, douchebag." Like,
Yeah.
like,
Experience
because
the
I
life.
hate people coming to the city not from the city. I think the city, like go back to fucking one suburb because like
You
Freya, it's a
pumpkin
bird.
countryside. Dude.
I mean not to just because they're usually really annoying. Not, I don't know. It's not always true, but yeah, I've been guilty of being a jerk
Oh,
too, like that.
One
but-
spot as you pass through.
Freya, it's a bird. Calm down. Fine.
But yeah, the whole phrase of Southern hospitality, that is by far for the most part, how everyone gets treated.
Yep.
Locals,
No,
whatever, it doesn't
great.
matter.
Oh yeah,
You'll always find someone to help you here.
That's
Now,
cool.
Like the middle of Charlotte and like the city, like the real city area of it, it's probably
Well,
less.
that's the same way everywhere else.
But
Your
yeah,
royal,
I live
rural
on the
area,
edge of Charlotte. I live on the west side of Charlotte, so I'm like surrounded by suburbs and it's just quieter in this area. And it's a lot of just people that want to help, and people also speak. It doesn't matter what culture they are or what ethnicity or race. If you speak to them in public, they speak politely back to you. Like, unless they're a crazy person, of course. But I mean,
There's
like
always
they'd be like,
exceptions
"Oh
to the
yes, sir,
rule.
thank you." They'll call you sir and shit, which is crazy to me.
Open the door for you.
Yeah, and like,
Hold
and
it
they,
open.
yeah.
So
And
are
then
you
they'll
telling
put
me
on
the
a
third wave
voice where-
feminism didn't get any
What's that?
foothold in the southern? Third wave
Say it again?
feminism didn't get a foothold in the south.
Who didn't get a foothold in the South?
Third wave feminism.
Oh,
Oh,
because You said the opening the door.
Yeah.
Opening the door when they turn around and go, I don't
They
need
do
a man,
that, but
open
they
the door for
guys
me.
do that for guys. Girls do that for guys. Girls do it for
Yeah,
girls. I mean,
yeah.
it's all equal.
That's why I said
Okay,
they don't
the
have a
only
foothold there.
places, the only places any of that kind of nonsense has a foothold is college towns.
Oh, okay.
In the South, okay, yeah, and there is a big university in Charlotte, isn't there? There's a University of North Carolina, Charlotte. It's a pretty big
Yeah,
campus, I think.
you'll
But
see goofy
me and
stuff like that.
my wife is 38. I'm 40, and she's from East Africa, so like she's totally different culture.
Yeah.
But we don't go to hip areas anymore. Like I don't consider myself old at all. I still feel very youthful, and I do physical stuff, but I don't like going to like bars in like the hip part of the city. They're fucking obnoxious to me. So like I don't really see a lot of younger people doing shit. So I really don't know. Like
But yeah, you are like the guys that goes to Ukraine to get a wife. So
guys like go to what?
dodge a bullet there.
Where do they go to?
You're
I can't
going
understand.
outside of the United States to get a wife.
Well, I mean, she's an American. She's from
Right.
she's born in East Africa. She was there till she was 12. But
Different culture though.
Yeah, but their parents are
Where-
hardcore African.
yeah, but she is not she like for one thing like she's not Islamic or anything. She is
South Africa is not Islamic as a
no,
general.
East Africa, not South Africa.
Oh, yeah. Okay, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but they don't have that American culture of I'm an independent woman, I can do anything I want, blah blah blah, and expect guys still to be the traditional guy and
Well,
sleep with 500 different people.
yeah, no, I mean, I'm fine with I like people that are independent.
Yeah, but there's a difference between independent and then flaunting it like I don't need no man, but then turn around and always asking for a man for help.
Well, yeah,
Bigot.
I think that's mostly just people who are dramatic and like attention or like to be drunk, full of.
Well,
Like, they like to.
that's the big push of the third wave feminism, though. And I mean, they have things on it all the time where we're strong, independent women now, and the next day we're victims.
Yeah, there's a lot of mentality like that, but I meet a lot of people that are, because that's and two. I mean, I understand what in general I'm well versed in feminism, but it's third wave feminism being mostly like the mentality that is prevalent today is I would say a younger generation than I mean it's not like 60-year-old women in most cases, right?
Right.
Like it's like between the ages of 15 and 27.
I was gonna say,
whatever.
unfortunately, it's not the feminism of we want equal rights. It's the feminism of we want men in servitude.
Well, yeah, or at the very least that it's feminism in the way that we are victims and that's it or
Right.
whatever. Like it's so yeah. So I mean, I know a lot of
Yeah.
younger women and older women that totally don't agree with that type of feminism.
Oh yeah.
Or because
Most don't.
what's great is that what usually when these types of ideals like that ideology is that they have things that everyone agrees with. They say something, it's like, yeah, I agree with that too. Women should make as much as a man. Women should be treated whatever. But so they get in any kind of ideology that is a certain way. They get you that stuff. Like
Yeah,
they're
idea
right
is
about,
okay.
They're right about these things, so they must be right about everything else they're saying. So people get sucked into it. And it's like, well,
But-
it's easy to be right about some things,
Yeah.
but and everyone will agree on things that are fair and equal. But then it's like, well, how do you go about getting it? How do you go about teaching about the opposite? And then it's just sometimes it gets overbearing and it's just ridiculous.
And the hard part to explain to people like that, it's like I don't know what statistics you're looking at, but they cherry pick, and they're absolutely horrible at cherry picking.
Yeah,
Because
but
overall,
to be fair, everyone does that has an ideology
Right.
that they swear by.
Right. And and it's illegal for a female to get, that for there's laws in place to keep women from getting paid less than a man for doing the same job, same work, same time. Now, if a guy's
Yeah.
been at the job for 40 years and you've only been at it for 5, yeah, he's going to get paid more than you because he's been there longer.
Yeah, and there are definitely there now this is the thing too, there's nuance to it because there are some industries where it is true that they're being unfairly compensated. It's very like there's particular ones. It's not an overall issue in every industry, but like let's say like tech and stuff like that, like it can be harder for a woman to advance than a man, right?
Their
But
interests also are different than men, and there's not near
but
as many going
assuming
into tech.
I'm just comparing it one to
Yeah.
one, a
Yeah,
woman's to
they
a man.
don't. They have
But
different issues too.
but as
Since
you said about the statistics, or about the cherry picking, too, is um, like you said, like there's things in place where they can be paid more if, or that they would have to be paid the same, like laws and whatnot. Um, but yeah, so it's just it's ridiculous though when, like for instance, the I forgot what I was saying here, but the uh, there was a
You're
point
taught
I was
you're
gonna
you're
make.
going into tech, talking about girls and going into tech and not
Well, that was,
the wages.
but what
That
as an employee, as an employer, what do you prefer? Someone that will stick in forever, or someone that when he gets a baby in will have to take a break and not be
well, okay,
there
it's not
anymore?
even so much. It's not even so much that. I mean, a lot of
That's an
times,
issue,
you
though.
know, females are, once they, and it's not for all. I mean,
Yeah,
it's definitely the rule of thumb, not necessarily always the case, but women, they typically want to go to all the little Susie's games. They want to go to all the little Susie's recitals and go to little Jimmy's, whatever play that he's doing, where the guy will turn around and go, "Look, I've got to work overtime tonight. I'm gonna have to miss it."
yeah,
So there's a
yeah.
lot of that in the compensation on the
th-
time per
there's all
hour.
kinds of nuance to every
Right.
single time there is some kind of difference. So
So saying that women
yeah.
are making less per hour is subjective due to the fact that there's so many things in the way, because there's no ever pointing out one specific area to where they're saying, look, women are doing the same job for $12 an hour. These guys are getting paid $15 an hour. We all got hired at the same time and we're producing exactly the same.
Hmm.
It's a cherry pick on that to say women are getting paid less, because if you go to most fields, women do get paid more. Women go to call, or the women seek further education more than men and everything else. So it really depends. And if you're going to take the small amount of super successful men and say all the money's within white men and stuff, that's just a small portion of white men. So I mean, it's cherry, and don't get me wrong, there's cherry pickings all over. Everybody does it, and they snip it, clip it, cherry pick it, whatever, and they can make whoever sound horrible.
Hmm.
yeah.
They
You can
especially
always do
they
that anyway.
news regardless of what side of the path you stand on, cherry picks ever loving piss out of everything and makes everyone sound horrible. I don't
Yeah.
care
Yeah.
what political eye.
You know what? I mean, I'm less actually preoccupied by this topic and more preoccupied by. Now, tell me, maybe I don't hope I'm not going to offend anyone here, but
Oh, I'm
You're not.
offended. What are you
At least
talking
not
but
about?
me.
no, but I mean, now I've learned about something that I am late to the game on learning about. That is a very prevalent, because I don't know shit about TikTok. I will never be on TikTok. I don't want to be on TikTok. It's a bunch of young people that are just there. The difference being that when we were young, we didn't have social media or TikTok, right? So the
Right.
stupid things that we believed when we were young weren't broadcast to the world. But what I hate about that is that the media talks reports on these things as if they matter. It's like, dude, this person's 16 to 22 years old. In 5 to 10 years, they won't even remember they felt this way. They're going to change their
Yeah.
thought process. But because it's being broadcast to millions of people on TikTok or whatever social media, they act like it's prevalent in society. It's like it's not. It is a niche of people,
No,
and
but
like
they don't know what to talk about. They have to talk about
But
something.
I get that, but I mean, but then you have people that argue and get mad about shit. But what is actually dangerous is this thing I learned about,
They
and
know
it is
about it.
called. Now, tell me if
Just
you've
go.
heard of this. It's called the fat acceptance movement.
that is
Have you?
dangerous.
Did you hear? Have you like watched that shit?
Yeah, where they're trying to say that people are beautiful in all sizes. Where
Which
I
is
agree to a
fine.
point.
Yeah.
I agree to a point, but whenever you're my or part of my 600-pound life or should be, it's like I want to help you because you're hurting yourself, you're killing yourself, you're
Yeah, but
destroying your
they
body.
don't believe that obesity causes any medical problems.
Right? They're like, oh, there's no way this is going to cause diabetes. There's no way this is going to cause
They
neither
Okay,
straight
not
they're
up
be able
believe
to
that that's
refusing
breathe.
reality. They're
no.
just
Yeah,
They go so far as to say that losing weight is unhealthier than gaining weight.
yeah.
That's like that.
yeah,
If you are, say,
that's
you're
just
300 pounds and
dumping
you're
common
5'8",
sense.
if you're 300 pounds and 5'8", and
You're just as
you're
tall as you are round.
and yeah, and if I was like, well, I'm 300 pounds, I got to get down to 200. No, that's more unhealthy. That is more unhealthy. How? And but because they believe charlatans that spread bullshit about health at every size that doesn't exist in science. It doesn't exist.
Okay,
It's impossible.
okay, snippet picket, whatever you want to call it, that's what they're doing. So they're taking studies of people that they're using for their information is they're picking from studies that talk about, people who do unhealthy diets that lose weight stupid quick
Yes.
and basically
Yes.
starve themselves,
Yes.
put themselves in anorexia and go, see, it's unhealthy. Look right there. And it's like,
Yep.
no,
Okay, but
no.
that's
Yeah,
the
they're taking
phenomenon
it from
of echo
extreme.
But
chamber
yeah,
to the
but
extreme.
then oh, exactly. But then they're ignoring the fundamental
Yeah,
truth that calories are energy and excess energy has to go somewhere. It can't
yeah.
just disappear. It will turn
Okay,
into, in this case,
this
fat.
this is the fun part. I love dietary. Okay, I love the human science.
Mhm.
Funny thing is, okay, the body has this amazing ability. It turns carbs into fat, and fat turns into energy if you cycle it properly. But is totally 100% incapable of turning fat into fat. It can only turn
Mhm.
fat into energy. That's the way the body
Mhm.
processes.
Mhm.
But whenever they turn around and sit there and go, oh, you need to eat these carbs, you need to eat this, you need to eat that to be healthy. And it's like, you people listen to the American diet entirely way too much because if you follow the American diet, you will be obese.
Exactly. That's it's also too I like because they say and there's this okay again if you are overweight I feel like you should love yourself and you should feel good about you shouldn't hate yourself people shouldn't be
But
mean to you
you should always want
but
to
you
improve
have to
yourself and make yourself
understand that
better.
it is unhealthy like that
Yeah.
you can't just believe that it's healthy and then it is but the yeah like you were saying the American diet will make you obese but the thing is there's been fat people forever. But do you think there was a single fucking tribesman that was 300 pounds back when, before advanced society? And even in the 1800s, do you think that 30% of the people were uh, like obese or larger?
No.
Like it's because of the food you're eating. Because
Uh,
they like to say, "Hey, even if we all ate the same foods, we'd all be different sizes." Like, yeah, that's true. But
do you know
but I
But
mean,
who were
some
there's
people will
concerned?
be
perspective.
marginally fatter, some people will be marginally skinnier.
I have a
Okay,
question for
but
you guys.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea who have concern about their weight in the 1500?
No,
The
well,
rich
everyone.
people that felt they weren't
Yeah.
fat enough,
The
maybe.
nobles.
Yeah. Uh,
And their 600-pound life would be like my 180-pound life. That's what their
right.
fucking fat would be.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I mean, let's use examples here. Okay, do you know anything about Egyptians, like back in the actual building pyramids and pharaohs and that crap?
I mean, a
Not
little bit.
really.
Okay,
Not
I did
much.
major. I did major in history in university, but yeah,
okay, so you do know they were known as the bread people.
Oh,
I didn't
yeah,
major in
okay.
Egyptian history,
Yeah.
so I'm not going to know every single thing
Okay,
about Egypt.
so they were known as the bread people because they
Yeah,
did
they
large
had
crops of wheat and they
a
ate a
lot
lot
of
of bread,
grains and stuff. Yeah,
and they had a huge obesity problem. They're taking mummies and doing, looking at it and,
yeah.
how the hell they can find that they had heart disease and everything else and diabetes and everything from a mummy still baffles me. But, you know, they're finding out that because they had a high carb diet,
Hmm.
they were, it was, they were
Yeah,
having all the health
yeah.
issues we're having in
It's
America.
I do know that a huge staple of their diet was what was grains because
Yep.
they would store it up. They would make sure they'd have
Uh-huh.
years of grains to last them in case there was a drought or whatever. Which clearly there would
But
have been droughts.
there was a lot of famous people. I cannot remember their names to save my life. But
Yeah,
that went through there and wrote in their documents about they ate a lot of bread there and stuff. But
yeah,
they did the same thing Europe did with breads, to where you know it's weird. So in the medieval times, the bread that they ate in the medieval times, the whiter the bread, like the more sifted out the bread was, the more pure white,
hmm
like we eat today. Our cheap bread, the white bread.
hmm
That's what nobles ate.
yeah,
So, and then the poor people ate the whole wheat bread, which was actually better for them and
yeah.
stuff like
Well,
that.
like
Because
even rich people in France here are eating brioche and shit. Like,
right,
I mean, you're not eating the fucking chunky hard ass wheat
right,
bread.
but
Yeah,
you know, if you take, but there's a whole lot more fiber with the more, I guess, more whole wheat bread and stuff
yeah.
you eat. There's a lot
hmm
more fiber in the diet and stuff, and your body actually, the body digests it better and everything else, and they don't have the obesity
No,
problems.
refined carbs from like white bread and stuff
Right.
goes out of your blood immediately and turns to basically fat. And
You know.
what you can use it. I mean, I'm like a weightlifter and stuff, so like I can I understand like, oh, if I take certain kind of like carbs, it'll go to give my muscles energy for a short period for a lift session or something, right? But if you
Right.
don't use it, you're gonna fucking gain fat. And
Yeah.
and you know what? And I'm not trying to vilify people who gain weight. I go up and down in weight. I'm not someone that's just like been skinny my whole life or anything. So
Who
like
cares, man?
yeah, that's not like the point. But the point that they're spreading, it is healthy to be 400 pounds. It is
Right.
unhealthy to try to lose weight intentionally. Like these are
Okay.
tenets in what they
I'm gonna
believe.
be 100% honest. This
No, no,
ideology
just ninety
of,
percent, please.
Yeah, I
okay,
can't
ninety
handle a
percent
full
honest.
100.
Okay. No, no. Uh, I think the ideology behind the dad bod and the mom bod, to the extent they're pushing it, is starting to get unhealthy, because they're
Mhm.
starting to push, closer to that, you know, upper 200s, 300 pounds is,
Mhm.
sexy. And it's like, look, I'm 240,
Ah.
I'm 240, I'm 6 foot. Okay. I look at myself and go, I'm a disgusting fat ass.
Mhm.
And, and
As
then,
you just
as
kidding.
I should, no, no,
Just
you're
I
not
would
wrong,
say
but
not
I'll bounce.
negatively. Like you shouldn't be negative about it.
No,
Yeah, I
I
would
just look
never
at myself and go,
insult it.
I really need to lose weight.
He's using
Yeah,
hyperbole.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah.
So, but this is, I mean, that's what I am. I'm, you know, I'm not skinny. I know I'm not, and I know it's not healthy, and that's why I fluctuate between 240 and 200 pounds. I go
Mhm.
through my areas of, okay, I got to lose weight, and but there's people out there, they look at themselves at 240 and go, look in the mirror and go, yeah, I've got a dad bod. Girls are gonna love this.
But
Or like there's I don't
okay,
know like
but I would say at least I have to accept that because I don't want to do exercise, and then I hope they
Right.
like it. I would prefer it in a way if it was expressed that way. But at
And
least he admit.
I
no
and
a
I
lot, but
really,
that's they're getting rid of that though.
the more
In
the
this
and the another thing I wish they would, I hate the news. I hate news with a passion. I hate these people that are trying to sell diet, or not,
Oh
not,
yeah.
well, okay,
Like
more
scam
exercise
weight
stuff.
loss stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and the first thing they tell you is, oh, you got to do all this cardio. You're only going to lose so much weight on cardio. You realize it's more of a diet thing that makes you lose weight than cardio. I
Diet
have
is the
dropped.
number one thing that's going to make you lose weight.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, cardio is good because it's going to get your heart rate up. It's good for your body, period. But
No, I'll
di-
say this. And I agree with you, but just to
oh,
give a
lifting
little bit.
weights is huge too.
But I used to, like I said, I do lift weights, but I used to be way more fit. Like I used to, you road cycle about anywhere from 3 to 8 hours a day, and I would get up at 4:15 in the morning every day and work out, and then run for a couple miles. Like I was a super fit person, and I was really into that shit. I ate about 6 to 10,000 calories a day at that time,
Wow,
and
that's massive.
because I was constantly working out. and my body was just like constantly in energy. Like I was. So I mean, but you know, if you do it enough, you will burn what you're eating. But that's not normal, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I was
Right.
training like I was an athlete, which I wasn't.
You're
This was
you
just
were
for
training
fun.
like you were going for a
Yeah, and
triathlon.
I did have a goal to, you know, race in running and biking, but I never actually got that far into it. I just realized later, like, I just like doing it for fun. So then I slowed down, and you know, and I didn't eat as much a day, but I was still really fit. But the thing is, you can't, if you're doing that like 3,000 plus calories a day, um, you're probably really fat, and you're probably extremely unhealthy. You probably have high blood pressure and high, you know, out of control sugar levels and blood sugar levels, and but they don't believe it's unhealthy. That's the thing. That's the
Yeah.
problem. They
No,
believe it's safe and healthy, and there's no evidence at all that obesity causes any issue.
I
That's
don't
what they
think
say.
Except
the
for
base of that
cancer,
is
high
about
blood
belief.
pressure.
No, they say that is not true. They'll say that is not true.
Now, the funny part is it's
Yeah.
that whole another thing that I hate is when they talk about cholesterol.
Uh-huh.
Cholesterol is one of them sketchy subjects. You can't live without cholesterol. You will die if you have none.
Yep.
Bad cholesterol comes from uh, uh, your highly refined carbs and
Yep.
your vegetable oils.
Yeah.
Your meat products do not give you bad cholesterol,
Mm-hmm.
and I get so sick and tired of hearing it. And it doesn't take much to do the study of finding out where that came from. Which president was that had that heart attack? He died from a heart attack, and they did this huge study of it and everything else. And
Racky brain right now.
and
It wasn't
they
Taft, was it?
it may have been, but
Because
he
Taft was
smoked
like
a
the
ton.
obese one.
Yeah, he smoked a ton. He ate super unhealthy and everything else. They tried to say it was
That could have
animal
been Teddy
fats.
Roosevelt as well.
Yeah. Well, he died. He died of a heart attack in office.
It's probably Taft. It's gotta be. He
I
was
think
like
it is.
350 pounds.
But yeah. Anyways, and he
And
smoked like
back
crazy.
then, that was like 900 in
Yeah.
inflation.
Yeah.
And fat inflation. Today, he'd be like on my 600-pound life,
Yeah.
going to Doctor Now while Doctor Now's like, well, you're too fat.
Yeah.
I love Doctor Now. Doctor Now, his thing. What do you think the calories are coming out of thin air? You fat piece of shit. Get out of my office.
Yeah.
Like that's what he wants to say. You can tell every
Oh,
time
yeah.
he opens his mouth. I, I I mean, those are exploitative shows, but it's so funny sometimes. But
But
anyway, sorry. Go on.
but the study was basically saying, and it's the shift of the American diet and everything else to where they went to,
Yeah.
where you need to eat 11 portions of carbs a day.
Wow.
Well, the funny thing was they had meetings about this in the office, and there's reportings afterwards and documentaries and everything else. They were saying, why are you changing this diet to so many carbs? It's going to cause so many health problems. Because they were saying, they on the news they were saying animal fats were the problem. Then they turn around and flop and say, and once they got behind closed doors, they're like, yeah, but we want to move the American diet to high carbs because carbs are cheaper on food stamps.
Yep.
Had nothing to do with animal fat.
Food stamp. That's not what is
It's where it's government assistance for food, so
oh,
that you or what do they call it now?
EBT.
EBT, yeah.
I know that because I always go to places and say we accept EBT. And I'm like,
I hate shopping on the first of the month.
is that a thing? I didn't know that.
Yeah, first of the month. That's when they get the refill on their card.
It's not even like the third. That doesn't take a day or two. It's just right away.
It's usually
All right. I'll
the
pay
worst
attention
part.
to that then.
It's usually the first week of the month is the absolute worst, and that weekend is absolutely horrendous. But yeah, they get it the first of the month.
I'll try to pay attention to that and see if I notice.
It's like, but the lines will get huge. You'll see shopping carts completely packed and everything else. It's like abnormally busy, and you're like, what the hell?
I wouldn't doubt it that the times I've been to Target or something, and I'm like,
Walmart's
why
horrible.
is the line around the store?
Yeah.
I try not to. I mean, now that I'm in the South, I have to go to Walmart more often than I ever did. I never went to Walmart before I moved here. though.
Dude, I hate Walmart. I'd rather go to whatever local grocery store unless I
Yeah.
absolutely have to.
100%. Or, I don't really care for like the really high-end fancy grocery stores, but when I lived in St. Paul, Minnesota, there was one that was really good, and I didn't get all my groceries from it, but they had really good prepared cooked food that was like really fresh, that was really inexpensive, and so we used to go there all the time. And I haven't found a grocery store like that one here. There are expensive grocery stores, but they're bullshit. They're like,
Yeah.
they're like, oh, whatever,
Super health food stores with organic
which
strawberries.
which aren't actually healthy or at all.
Oh wait, it's sorry. They have GMO
Perceived.
free
Yeah,
strawberries.
perceived as health. Yeah. So they charge. It's like, oh, we have misshapen fruit, so it's going to cost 10 times as much. It's like, okay.
Yeah, whenever that's
Wonderful.
trash fruit.
You know
they're
that
trying to
when
get
it's
rid
gonna come out of me, it will be shapeless too.
of. Yeah.
Well, mine has the
So-
shape. It's just different
so-
every time.
Here's something funny for you.
It's
If you
uniform.
ever see something that says non-GMO strawberries, there's no such thing as a GMO strawberry.
Well, no, because
Yeah.
hey, and
There's only one strawberry.
Yeah.
There's no crossbreeding between strawberries to make
Well-
a better strawberry.
Well,
strawberry.
well, too.
That's not true though. There are
do you mean
different
that's
type
not?
of strawberry.
Not
And,
enough to make any difference to change anything.
Oh geez, yes, man.
Well, GM.
We have wild strawberry here, and believe me, it's not
Oh, you're
bigger
talking
than your
about
pinky.
Wild strawberries. Yeah, those are.
Wild,
But
okay,
no one's eating those though.
We do.
okay.
Oh,
If
yeah,
you
okay,
take
never
wild-
mind. I guess I don't know anything. Welcome back.
If you take wild strawberries or regular strawberries and you grow them like in the dirt and don't tend to them and do whatever, the strawberries will be the size of your pinky. They're the same strawberry. It's just, why is that red?
Well,
Oh,
I mean,
crocs
obviously,
fighting.
with agriculture, we know how to make
Right.
fucking shit.
Right, it's the fertilization and everything else that makes it better. But the strawberry is still the same strawberry. It's just if you actually take that, yeah, they're genetically the exact same strawberry. But if you plant them and fertilize them and do things different, they'll end up being these humongous, gigantic strawberries that you
I
find.
guess
at the store.
that's why you can have pumpkins that are 800 pounds or pumpkins that are 10
Right,
pounds.
it's the same breed of pumpkin that will be like a 30-pound pumpkin, but but pumpkins they'll pick and choose between
Yes,
breeds. It's
but
kind of like cattle.
These stores that are selling the non-GMO strawberries probably also say organic, and
And we know organic's a joke because they're still using chemicals and stuff, but it's
Oh,
how
yeah.
they use it.
yeah,
They're playing the system.
they actually, it's funny because they still use pesticides and everything, and
Mhm.
it's like, but and two, that's fine if you want to buy organic. So
That's
I
the
don't give a
center
shit.
here, isn't it?
We've been to the center already once, haven't we?
Oh yeah,
Probably
We've been
yes,
around the
but
building.
Crocs.
that's the first time I notice it because yeah, we're speaking. My attention is
Yeah,
divided.
we went all the
I'm
way
just
to the
following
tower.
the group and killing as I follow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's all I'm doing.
Okay,
Ooh,
I'm
over.
leading us in and out on purpose because we are coming entirely way too close to the event. And if we do the event, that's fine. But I'm gonna have to get on Mondravis because
Yeah,
our party
it's
right now is
overwhelming.
not strong enough.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
It'll
That's
be
why I
pretty
was
crazy.
noticing, like, we are at the center, and I was to ask, does it have an event here?
It does, and a big boss comes out, but the horde that comes before the boss
Yeah.
is ridiculous. And I can solo it on Mondravis, but it's stressful.
Okay.
It's
I don't like soloing it.
Oh wow, it's that
there's a
stressful.
lot of mobs too. It's really
Oh
crazy.
come on, I got interrupt. Come on. That is so sad.
But yeah, I don't like doing it, and I won't do it unless there's a reason for it. Because it's like I said, it's super stressful.
I want to do it when we can.
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah,
fine,
it's
but
fun, man.
but we
it
can
is
get a
cool.
group. That's when we get a group of 5 people. I'll bring Mondravis.
No.
I'll blow it out, and it'll be fun.
With this character, fuck Montravis. You don't need a group with it, so there's no point.
No. I can solo it. That doesn't mean that it's efficient or it's fun.
Yeah, but what I mean is, let's do it with those characters that are not OP. That let's work our way up to that point.
Oh yeah, that's fine. We can do that. Well, actually, you know the funny thing, if I change Mondravis now to a Earth tactic spec, I could solo that event as a warrior.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just put on defensive stance and we'll go in there. I'll go in there using dual wield or whatever, and I'll go with daggers and I'll just totally annihilate it.
Yeah.
It's a joke.
Because you know what to do. I would still
Well, it's
get my
because
ass kicked.
uh, the high parry and stuff. I'll be able to run through there and negate a lot of the damage and wearing full plate and everything else. I'd probably switch over to a bronze set and just it'd be a joke. When it gets really bad, I'd throw a shield on.
Man, what is
It's
wrong with my song?
Can you tell I'm fat, guys? I'm doing the chubby man walk over here.
He's full.
Why don't you destroy like the bullshit equipment?
I'm about to, like the lesser staves and
Mm.
lesser wands that I have a bazillion of in my bag.
I always have to go through it. I'm on a long haul and just go through and shift click and destroy longbows and shit.
Yeah, that's.
I just
what I'm
don't care
showing
enough
next.
about
Dude,
carrying them.
that's so much salvage skills to do.
You know how much,
That you don't. You,
how much shit I've got at my fucking play? I've got way
Do
too
you know
much.
how much shit I don't have?
Yeah, but you have to earn it the hard way. That's what you want. So
Absolutely. I'm not complaining.
I'm not giving you anything unless you ask for it.
And I won't
that's
ask
the funny
for it.
thing is, I've told him whenever he first came in, I was like, dude, I'll make you a full set of gear. We'll get you started on the right foot.
You know, I appreciate it though that he doesn't want to do that because it
Oh,
is
yeah.
a lot better
You know,
to actually work for it.
dying and dying and dying because my gear is not proper push me to the edge of, hey, dude, I'm gonna go farm my ass off and get my gear done.
Now, it could be giving him entry level, low level stuff.
Oh, I have
That's
already.
what I was gonna do, like a 2 masterwork, 2 enchant kind of gear.
Yeah.
Whatever rolled.
Because that's kind of normal in MMO to get something kind of.
But I can craft
Not-
that
not hard
stuff
working.
myself. And now that I'm a tamer, I don't have a choice. I have to farm them through pigs.
Oh yeah, but okay, I'm gonna be 100% real with you. Whenever it comes to tamers, the once you get everything GM'd, which is an absolute unrealistic thing from doing it by yourself in hardcore trying to level it.
Okay?
Once everything's GM'd, you've easy moded. It's like getting a full set of freaking awesome gear.
Oh, it's
'Cause you're
already
at that-
GM then.
Yeah, you know how you turn around and GM'd everything because you had all that XP. You
Yeah.
just pretty much threw it all into taming
Yep.
and bard.
Yep.
You might as well have had a full set of really good crafted gear.
Oh. And just be tanking, surviving, then caring
Right,
about.
because once you GM everything in that tree, you can because it takes roughly 20 million ish to GM everything in that tree except for mastery.
Yep.
The mastery is 24 million. So before level 100, once just the taming tree, if you were to what is it 48 million XP is what you need to GM everything in that tree.
Okay.
You GM everything in that tree, you can immediately go kill dragons.
Wow.
With little effort.
Yeah, that's insane.
No gear. It's kind of like a bard. As a bard, I can get 3 skills to level 80, and I can come to the zombie room here and solo the zombie room without any gear.
You know, I used to. I mean, I still have a lot of bard skill, but I dabbled in bard spec. But then when they changed the bard stuff to take forever to charge, I like Sonata. What is it called?
Yeah, Savage Sonata.
That one,
Okay.
which is my favorite one, and it takes forever. Like I abandoned
You
it
gotta-
after that.
You dynamically stack it, and then you use
Yep.
chaotic feedback to sing it.
Yeah, chaotic feedback, obviously.
Yeah. But since bard skills don't use focus, except for the
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
conical. You'd get no negative effect as long as you're just using bard skills. And since
Yeah, I
chaotic
guess.
feedback
Yeah.
allows you to stack quicker, and then with mind lock, you know,
But
the,
then it's like, again, we talked about this earlier. Like adding more stuff you have to do stuff was like, um,
it makes it a
I
pain in the ass. It's
yeah,
definitely
it's
not
like
entry
why
level.
change that? Well, what was the reason for making Savage Sonata and other things take longer to charge? What was the
Well,
reason
we
for it?
just it's just too powerful. Then
Well,
buff every. My thing is buff everything to match it. Make it one of those things that it's nice to have, but I absolutely do not need it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It increases my power by about 25% if I have it. If I don't have it, it's not a big deal. But don't nerf everything down to it, buff up to it. Because all they're
Yeah.
trying to do is keep dragons relevant.
Well, how are they? Why? Dragons aren't that
Because,
difficult. I don't
no,
understand.
they're not. But it's the term of saying it's just the ideology that they're using. Let's keep dragons relevant. They nerf things down to
Are
where
they?
it's
But are they relevant at all? No.
they are. I mean,
For
they're still
what?
decent XP, and it's like one of the biggest incomes for the speed of what you can kill. Because you're talking 500 to 1500 gold per kill. And if you jump zones like I do on Mondravis whenever I'm doing dragon runs,
How much are you making from adventuring gold doing this in like an
from
hour?
that,
Say?
if I do it right and I'm actually concentrating on it, I can make like 30-40K within an hour. Because I'm talking about taking the gems and everything and selling it.
Yeah,
Granted, you
but
get a
I
huge
feel
array
like
of
that's
artifacts.
I feel like it should be higher. I feel like that's not enough money.
That's the highest income.
I know that's
Like
what I'm
for
saying. I feel
adventure,
like the highest income is too low in my opinion. In
I
adventuring.
don't disagree.
Okay. As long as we're on agreement there, then good.
Because whenever
That yeah.
I'm killing breach bosses. They have 40k hit points. They drop anywhere between 1,000 to 1,500 gold. Same as a dragon bird, pretty much.
Hey, does anyone have any arrows they don't need? I'm down to 213.
Yep.
Yep.
Not much though. 26.
I have 2,100.
I think you're good with him.
I mean, it's not much, but it'll definitely get you for a bit longer.
Yeah. That's the guy.
Man, I was looking at you when you're firing. Man, it's like a machine gun.
Oh, do you got?
I'm not even full buffed up right now. I'm only.
I was gonna say,
buff.
put on your fire, the ignite weapon.
Oh yeah.
That is the coolest.
I do. I usually keep it on just because of how it looks. But also, here.
So when I buff you with rapid fire,
There it goes.
you're good.
Oh yeah, I like it when you do what is it, Anthem of Alacrity or whatever it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
called. And I also, but when I'm
There it
fully
goes.
buffed, like I can shoot really fast.
Yeah, it turns it. Well, once, an
Here,
archer.
I'll do Berserker stance, and then I'll do. Oh shit!
You
I
got a
don't have
haste
that.
potion?
I
Yeah.
do, but it's not on my belt right now. I took it off. I think I took it off to add resurrect because you guys are dying.
What's happening with my?
I'm used to having a healer. I'm not
Sound
used to
attack.
having to resurrect ever. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's all cumbersome to me when I try.
Healers are a thing of the past too.
Yeah, there's a lot of things in this game I wish were worked out better. I don't want to say too much to make Ziff think it's a terrible game, though.
No.
We've been on.
I'm
long
sold,
enough to
so don't worry about it. I'm sold.
It would be a much better game if Taming and Bard didn't exist. I'm gonna be real.
I mean, I used to
prevalent.
just be an archer. That's what I started off as, just an archer.
Because don't get me wrong, as much as I like the Tamer Bard thing, and I've mastered it and everything else, there's a reason I've created this character to actually have fun. Because I've got to a point with them, because it was always, I want to do better, I want to do more, I want to do more, I want more, I want more. Then now it's getting to a point of, I've got everything, so now let me just take my time and enjoy.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter.
Yeah, Bard was added really late in the game.
And so was the upgrade to Taming.
Yeah.
For the mastery and everything.
Yeah, but people really wanted Bard to happen. I remember that. Like, so some people were like, "I'm not going to play until they add bards to it." Um, some people really like playing with bards. Uh, but
I
then of course they, like
I
you
like
said,
the
they
idea, but if it was not that OP, so that it's pretty much like
Okay,
now it's just the way to go. Like
the
you
problem is, and the frustrating part is you've got a stigmatism in the game of if I can't do it, if I can't be the same with, or if I can't do the same as this person, then they're overpowered.
yeah.
So instead of being, oh, a tamer bards are freaking awesome, I want one in my group, like all the rest of the MMOs would do,
Hmm.
they want to shun it and say we need to get rid of it because it's too strong. Instead of realizing that, because I've played with several people on Mondravis there, and he's a tamer bard,
Yeah.
and my croc will push out 12 1400 damage per second, not a problem. But whenever I'm playing with other people, like someone that swords or something like that, or a melee, or even an archer, as soon as they're around my bard skills, they'll do just as much damage as my croc, if not more. You're talking like massive crits, especially with swords.
Yeah.
like
And
no, isn't it?
that's the funny thing, is it's like then you would want a bard in your group every time. Don't turn around and try to get rid of the bard. Actually group play, because it's an MMO. You're supposed to play as a group.
Yeah.
Exploit the benefit of it.
They want to shun these groups and say, oh, they're too powerful. They need to be nerfed and all this other stuff. It's like, then have one in your team. Have one of your people roll
But I
an
would
air archer.
say you don't need to
I
group since
will
you're so independent.
I will give you one reason, in my opinion, why there's so much more people like that in this game, and there's probably multiple reasons for it. But the one reason I will point out is that a lot of players of this game aren't actually gamers. They never actually played a lot of games or MMOs. A
How
lot of
could
them,
that be?
a lot of people are a lot older, and I'm
They're
not trying to like,
60, they're upper
yeah,
50s and 60s. They
yeah,
they they were adults whenever Ultima Online was a thing. They were in their
yep,
30s.
yep, and they want to keep playing something like it. They love Lord British, so they support him. Or they're older and they played something in their older age, and then their son or something introduced them to this, and then they started playing it. And then like there's a lot of people like that, and they also have money, right? They have more money than a 20-year-old.
Yeah.
So they spend a
Right.
lot of money on the stuff in the store and stuff. So they have a
Then
lot of
they think,
pull politically in the game.
yeah. I was gonna say, then they think because they spent all that money that
They have
talk
a
about
say.
for a group that complains about the younger generation being so entitled.
Hmm.
They're one of the baby boomers are definitely the
Oh,
most entitled
they
group.
are the most entitled, for sure, because they've earned everything, right? They believe that they're just better. Um,
But they are.
no, like me, I actually, I don't think I'm even close to the top for how much money has been spent, but I've spent many thousands of dollars on this game.
Wow.
So and since 2014, including the I can't even think of the word, the fundraising portion,
Oh, the backing,
the backing, and then also the buying a
telethon
town.
stuff.
I bought a town. I
Yeah.
bought Kodos. I bought
You have a town? You have
I
an
also
island?
yeah, yeah, not an island. I have a town. Yeah.
Eh,
Um.
a plot?
There's more than just islands.
Yeah, I have an island in my town. Um. And so and then I usually have the subscription going too. So I give a monthly amount. Sometimes
Yeah, the subscription is worth it now.
Was not?
is something changed now? I just pay blindly. So what changed?
The obsidian potions.
Well, yeah, but I've had the obsidian potions for a long time from that.
Right. Obsidian potions used to only give 300 for the learning experience. Now, if you have without a subscription, it's 450, and with a subscription, it's
Oh yeah, yeah,
600.
yeah. I know what you're talking about. Okay, I thought maybe
What?
they were giving more potions or something. Yeah, you get
No, no.
400% increase on potions as a subscriber.
4% increase.
For
Or 400.
400. So, it's not 400. They've upped them all. The thing is, they upped them all, and then they did it wrong. And instead of backtracking and going, "Oops, enjoyed it while you should have," or glad you enjoyed it while it lasted, but that's the sub price. They just upped it again. So, like I said, instead of now, for even people that are not subscribed, the guidance potions give 450% when they used to give 300. But if you're
Oh.
subscribed, it's 600%.
Really? I didn't even notice
Oh,
that. And I'm subscribed.
I didn't know.
Yep.
I was
Yeah.
using them and I saw 600 and I thought,
my
oh, that's
point, though,
probably
about it
from
was-
the Dark Age.
Is that I've spent this much money and I don't think they would ever listen to me for suggestions. The developers. I mean, there's people in this game that have spent tens of thousands of dollars.
Oh, that's for sure. Having a
Okay,
So-
megapolis town island.
Just that alone, but there's people who have multiple towns like that.
What?
There's also people that have like
Whoa.
have you heard of Ardinis Mortis or Minerva or OOC? You know what I'm talking about, Mario, right?
That's Vesper. Nope. That's Vespers.
That's Vipers. He's joined our.
No, that's Vesper.
Yeah, that's Vesper. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
he's in
so
our-
cool.
He's in our group though.
Oh, that's nice.
Someone invited him. Nefario did.
Oh, actually, it's an open group, so he probably just joined on
Oh,
himself.
that's right. It's open.
Okay, so it's his back piece that gives him away. That's definitely Vesper because that is his.
Oh yeah, I played with him the day he was announced. It was Friday. He was announced. I played with him earlier that day, and that's the moment I clicked that. Oh man, you're a GM. I didn't even know, and I learned.
He's one of the devs now.
Yeah, but I didn't know that he was a GM. Period. So I learned he's GM, and then like 3 hours later, he's now a dev. Like what?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. When did that happen?
Oh, Friday. Before the Dark Age. The day before Dark Age, they activated him. And
But, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. But too, it does speak to the favoritism that is in the game too. Like why? Can you imagine like playing World of Warcraft and then being so popular and known by the devs that they give you a job, like that just.
Oh, he was GM before getting a job.
I don't even know what you mean by GM.
He's GM. Don't you see it? Viper is GM.
Like
when he typed in channel, you will see GM Viper.
You just mean like like he's
a game master.
Yeah, I mean, what does that even mean in this game? Though?
I don't know. I was
That means he's definitely a dev.
Oh.
Yeah, I know what a dev is, but I mean, what is what is
the game master?
GM.
Nothing. It's just the title they get in game.
Okay, yeah. So he is a
hang
dev.
On,
then you have to work for the company then.
Right.
Hang on.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's on a voluntary, but he's over the PvP base. That's the only reason they brought him in, is to help better the PvP.
Well, has it helped?
He just started, and then the whole
shenanigans
happened.
How do I follow someone? I want to type Viper.
This is something that I see politically as being an issue. Is if he is a developer in the game in the company, he's working for them, and he continues killing people that don't like it.
I don't give a shit.
But you know, people get upset about that stuff, right? Like in games, that's something that people.
That's their choice if they want to be offended.
No, but it's also usually not someone who runs the game killing you. It's another player.
Yeah, but if they get offended, that's their problem.
But
But I see the problem. I know.
It could lead to issues that people have. Like, well, now the people who run the game are killing their own player base.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I mean, that is an advertised aspect of the game, though.
It's advertised that the developers kill you.
No. He's not going in as GM powered, so he's going in as regular powered.
I'm not worried about power. I'm just saying politically that there will be people PvE core people like hardcore PvE that would not like that, to know that there's a developer that is a PK basically.
It's one of those catch-22s, because like in World of Warcraft, there was development devs that were in guilds that did raids.
Hmm.
And in World of Warcraft, raiding is competitive.
Well,
He's not
also World of
responding.
Warcraft had 24 million players, and so like the world was so huge that you would. It's a very small community here, so like Vesper is known by everybody. Everybody's been killed by him. So I mean, I just
Oh
think
yeah,
that
I
it's.
don't.
Uh, well, you're new. I mean, I'm saying that like
Vesper's
if
killed me a million times.
yeah. So you're. I'm just saying that I'm not saying I'm
He
pissed about
will.
it or that it would be upsetting to me if Vesper killed me again or anything. I'm just saying that in general, you have people bitching and arguing about PvP all the time. That will be just another thing that will upset people.
Yeah.
I'm not saying everybody or that it should. I'm just saying that
Well,
it's definitely going to.
I've talked to Vesper lately, and the
Mhm.
things that he wants to do with PvP is what you want done with PvP, to where it puts it a level playing field, damage is nerfed down to where fights last 3 minutes. No, instead of
One
30
shot.
seconds
Or
or
yeah,
2
30 seconds.
seconds or a
Yeah,
half a
30
second.
seconds if you're lucky. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't like that in the game, and he wants to get rid of it.
Hmm.
So,
If that's
like
and
you
he wants
explained,
to,
it's a
he also
nerf.
wants to make it to where you can lower yourself. So let's say if you're level 140 or whatever, you could lower yourself down to level 100 and lower your stats and everything else to be competitive.
Yeah, skill basis more than and class basis, like the choice you
Well,
do making a difference.
that should be um determined by the zone rather than by your own intuition.
Right. But he's for that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things he wants to change about PvP because he actually understands how messed up PvP is.
Because he's
Because he
killed a
plays it.
thousand million people.
Right, and he's also him and I played, and him and I have fought each other several times and stuff. We've talked about it, we've discussed it, and how messed up it is at because he wants people to PvP more. But he's also one that will lower his PvP skill down just to have fun in PvP people, and then when it gets serious, he'll go into straight. I'm switching up 3 different decks to kill you guy.
Wow.
So I mean, the dude will go out of his way to try to teach and lower himself to your level and stuff and have fun. So I mean, there are good things about Vesper, and he really is a good pick for the
The job.
person to do it. But if people, I mean, but I've never, like I said, Vesper is the one that you would want because he does go in and kill people, but he doesn't sit there and
Can't
and
can't kill you.
camp and kill you over and over and over and over and over, and make you frustrated, make you pissed off, and make you want to quit the game. Make you leave the zone dead so that way you lose durability.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
of course, none of my point had anything to do with whether or not he's good or
Right.
not. That wasn't anything out any point I was making.
But I understand people are going to get pissed off because that dude kills me all the time. Why'd they make him a dev?
Well,
Because he's
too,
a
also the
PvP dev.
fact that yeah, but I mean, it's. I think the game already has enough controversy and problems that they should
Yeah.
think more forward about things like that and just.
But at the same time, if the dev that's supposed to be over said content is not currently playing the content to make sure it's doing what it's supposed to, I would be more concerned about that. So him being in PvP and still PvPing as they're making changes,
Mhm.
how is he supposed to make good ideas and good thoughts and know that changes are actually being beneficial instead of bad?
Yeah,
How
and I
is he
mean,
supposed
and then everyone that wants to bitch about it, you can have this debate with them every single time too. But I mean,
Right.
it's like, I mean, no one, people aren't going to care about that. Like,
Right.
people are reactionary about this game and every game mostly, but especially this one, especially the entitled people or people that are just upset because of the entitled people. They're going to find new things to be upset about. And
Hopefully,
I
we
I
have a dev
I
team
agree
that
with you.
is
Go
able to
ahead.
resist that.
Well, my biggest problem is we have a dev team that doesn't play the game.
Yeah. Does Chris really not play it at all?
As far as I'm aware, I've never played with him. He's never played with anyone that I know of, at least not in the past several years.
Yeah. Well, Ziff, there is a we were talking about this earlier. There is quite a bit of there are people that are very entitled in the game that seem to get what they want from the developers.
Oh, because they whine the
So-
most.
Well, they also spend more money. Like I was saying, I spent this much. I'm nothing compared to those people. You know, like
Oh,
there are those people spent so much money. And honestly, I think if you have someone who spent $20,000+, especially, and that's not like a lot of people, but it's quite a bit of people.
it's still insane.
You are probably gonna listen to them more than you listen to me.
Yeah,
Especially when they're just a lot more involved in the game itself as well, besides financially. So,
they do care a lot, but they don't necessarily suggest things that is proper for the beneficial of the game. In
maybe
overall,
not beneficial for everyone, for the most amount of people, just beneficial for them.
yeah.
And I'm not saying like everything in this game is like that, like where it's just totally run by these group of elitists or anything. But but you know, if you, the more you play, you're like, why is this happening? And it should be like this. There's probably a good reason for whatever you're going to be questioning.
That is definitely that has got to be Vesper. There's no way in having that back or that heraldry.
What?
The Vipers.
Yeah.
There's no way that's not Vesper with that heraldry. But-
and I've never seen.
What are
the
you talking
Beavers,
about?
So... Heraldry is like the coat of
You
arms
see that
on the back of
V?
his...
That V on the back of his cloak.
Viper?
Yeah,
Yep.
Viper's cloak
Yeah, the V. Yes,
on his
yes.
back.
That's
That's
his heraldry.
Vesper's. That's Vesper's V. That's his
Yeah, but I
heraldry.
told
The only
you
person-
it's Viper. It's Vesper. I played
Right,
with him.
but-
This character.
Right. Oh, okay. You played with him on that character.
Yeah, the day he was announced. That's why
Okay.
that's
And
why
Nefari
the
was just
raid
pointing out
ended up
that he
on me.
could tell that it was. Yeah.
If you
Yeah,
have,
I was just pointing out the decal and said, "There's no
Yep.
way that's not because he's wearing that V." That's how you can. I was just stating that that's
Oh.
his heraldry.
oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, you
Yes.
can put custom heraldry in the game.
We talked about it. That's why I asked him, like, is it a V? And he says, yeah.
When I first started, well, actually not when I first.
And
started
he
playing, but
explained me
when I
the
first
reason
started
for
getting
Vesper.
more into the game, was probably 2016 when it released officially or something, and then I made a heraldry because at the time, my wife and I, well, she's my fiance at the time, but she played some games sometimes and we would play them together, and she was kind of getting into games for a little while. And I made a heraldry. I drew this in Adobe Illustrator. I drew this. I drew pictures of our faces, like, and so my heraldry is my face and her face, and it's really stupid, but it was supposed to be funny. But so that's still my heraldry, even though she doesn't play this game or any game at all anymore. And so yeah, you can put all kinds of shit in the game. It's really kind of neat.
Yeah, I intend to do that until I find my logo. I'm kind of getting the vibe for it.
Mhm.
Nothing is fixed yet, but eventually, when I get it, I'm gonna build it and do it inside the game. Right.
All right, you've seen my my tabard I have at my house, right? Right in front of my big tent.
Don't remember though. I saw
Kinda
it, but I
looks-
just don't remember.
Wicked looking skull looking thing.
Oh, sorry, I have no idea.
Yeah, you'll have to see it when you go back by. That's mine. I've actually got a heraldry for Mr. Chompers too, but I made that on a different account.
Okay.
So, the funny thing is I learned that if you go through, you know, the twin demons down in Black Blade Mountains.
Yeah.
So those demons sometimes they'll hit your pet with something, and your pet will turn around and munch you.
What? That's so cool.
Yeah, you see next to his name.
Oh, you're whispering that to me, Ziff.
No. Oh, Viper,
No,
his.
pretty-
You just sent a message to me.
Oh, he's talking to the party right now. And he's
So,
listening probably to the stream, I'm guessing.
I have no idea. Let me check. No, he's not in the channel. Unless he's on your YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah, YouTube. I'm streaming on YouTube right now.
He's like, they're talking shit about me.
Yeah, you're probably hearing us gripe about him.
I'm gonna go get a Vesper right now. And he's a dev, so he just switches Tartarus to open PvP.
Yeah, that'd be about right.
That would be hilarious.
What the hell?
He's just full on corrupt with his.
No half-asses corruption. Let's do it. Deep dive.
He'd be like, screw Mondravis, I got him. He's dead again. Now I have the skull of your old.
No mercy.
Like Cobra Kai.
What is that, Cobra Kai? Oh, it's a...
Movie
Oh, boy.
or a TV series.
Is it a TV series? Oh, okay, I didn't know
It's
that.
now
Yeah.
a TV series as well. It's 5 seasons. Yeah, the Karate Kid. Yeah. It is. It's no mercy though. Serious.
like,
that should
even-
be the PvP guild.
They've been
Cobra Kai.
bitching and complaining about me for like an hour. I'm gonna show them.
Where is Vesper from?
Alberta.
I have no idea.
What'd you say, Ziff?
Alberta.
It's Alberta.
He is?
Yeah.
God, so many Canadians taking over this thing.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You better take care of yourself.
I used to be closer to Canada than I am now. I could just put on a Canadian accent just to.
Oh,
blend in.
please do so. Let me enjoy that.
Hey,
Even if
can
I
honestly
try, I
say,
can't, man.
This is the
can't-
first
can't
time
do it.
I've actually played with the dev.
Oh, me too. Me too.
I played with Lord British, but because he was like friends with Orditus Mortis, and I was in that guild for a while early on. Like he would come to, and let me scratch that. He's never come to like a dungeon and hunted with me, but he's been in a group and stuff, and like did shit at their town.
Yeah, I'm
They had all
talking
kinds
about.
of events there and stuff.
But did you actually go on runs with you through dungeons and stuff?
I've never seen him do that ever. I don't even know if he does that.
Something like that.
He doesn't even
Like I
come on
said.
anymore. It seems like he's totally abandoned this. I know he sold it, but he claimed when he sold it, I made a comment on Twitter because someone was bitching about him and stuff and why they don't play the game, and I was like, well, technically he sold it, and it's now owned by Catnip, and Chris is the dev, the main dev and stuff, whatever. The Monster person runs it, and then Chris responded saying, "That's true, but you know, Lord British Richard is still very involved in the game and stuff." And he was kind of like giving a caveat to that, but I haven't seen him once since he said that, so I find that dubious. I don't think
There's
he has
been-
anything to do with
There's
it.
been events that he shows up, but he doesn't play the game.
When was the last time he showed up, though?
Last time is Coswald. They had an event on his birthday, and Coswald got knighted at that point. He got the Sir title
What?
When was that?
on his birthday.
I don't know. His birthday.
This year.
But this year's birthday. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Oddly enough, Coswald does not flaunt that title at all.
Oh no.
Oh, my wife sent me. We were talking about that fat acceptance earlier, and at that same time, I just saw she sent me a message about a fat acceptance person complaining about something.
That's funny.
There's a video of someone complaining. I guess I didn't watch it, but my wife works at she's a hospital worker that does traveling, so she's in Louisville, Kentucky right now. So we generally only chat over the phone or through messages usually. So. I just think that's funny. Here's a fat person complaining about something. Like, you don't have to, keep me informed on what all the obese fat acceptance people are doing. I don't really care. Okay, I gotta go for a little while. My sister called me. She never ever calls me, so
Sure.
call her back.
Hey,
I'm gonna. Here, actually, I'll just. If I log out in here, it'll bring me back to the beginning of level 1, right?
Probably, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, I'll just fucking recall out of here then. I'll come back later if you're still on.
Sure.
All right, guys. Ziff, did you add me?
Yes. Oh, yeah. In Discord too? Yep.
Yeah, add me wherever. All right, guys. I'll see you later.
See ya.
Later, man.
And if you talk to Vesper, tell him to not pick on me. That wasn't really talking shit.
Not
Hey,
talking.
you know,
Oh,
he's like,
I won't say shit, man. That's your problem. I don't have it.
You're like, yeah, you should have heard what he was saying before you got on Vesper. He was calling you a beta cuck and everything. All right, guys. I'll see you later.
See ya.
I don't know. He friended me. Revenge is coming.
Did he? Viper?
Yeah. Okay. We weren't really talking shit on him. We were just talking shit in general.
Yes, I know.
You is while you were AFK for the most part.
Viper? He's not there.
No. You were AFK, or you went to someone came over or whatever.
Oh, that moment.
And yeah, and we were talking, about how some stuff in this game or whatever, and we were talking about PvP, and Vesper came up a lot because he's like the biggest PvPer that's around right now.
Oh, he came in the stream channel?
No. Oh, if he is on anything, he's watching your YouTube stream.
Probably.
Vesper say something if you're listening. We're about to find out.
I asked before, but there's a 10.
That's what we were joking about. Is he's coming in here because we were talking shit.
Oh, okay. I don't know. It felt like, but asked him and he didn't respond. So.
Oh, I don't think he's in here.
And I doubt
Doesn't
he could find that.
Him and I've had conversations about stuff before. There's things I agree with him, or there's actually especially in PvP, there's several things I agree with him, but there's some things I disagree with him on. Regardless, he's still a good guy.
Yeah, he's a Canadian, so that's right.
He is the absolute best person to pick because he is level-headed and reasonable when it comes to the PvP stuff.
Oh, okay.
He isn't like some of them that turn around and would like air archers to go back to the way they were, where they were one-shotting people a million miles away.
Oh, okay.
He wants PvP to be fun. So if we're talking about a GM for PvP, he is the absolute best pick we could get.
That's good.
I definitely would have voted him for that spot. Granted, it wasn't a vote.
Was it a vote?
No, it was not a vote.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying that's if there was one, I definitely would have 100% been on his side for putting him in that position. Now, PvE end, maybe not so much.
If he doesn't work, if he doesn't play the PvE, normal too.
Well, he does play PvE, but he likes PvP. Granted, I think PvE needs to completely change. Well, artifacts, that's another one. Him and I don't agree on artifacts, the way artifacts should be handled in the game. He thinks he likes the system the way it is now. I like the system previously because it felt like adventurers were actually working towards something, and it was an adventurer's dream come true kind of thing. It's kind of like World of Warcraft and raiding. You know, you were upgrading your gear, getting better gear, and progressing. In this game, it's building your gear, but there's now a block. There's a stop.
And how about having 2 different type of gear that are equal, but like it's more about getting, let's say you want epic gear, but the epic gear you have to farm it, right? From the common up to epic. But what if the epic doesn't look the same. So the incentive is about the look and the power.
No, it's not even about that. The thing is
No, but
they want crafted gear to be the best gear in this game. The artifact gear, they would much rather see it go away.
oh
And I'm saying the artifact
no,
gear needs to stay in place, and we actually need more artifact gear. And the biggest push towards crafters is masterworking and enchanting, in my opinion. So, but he likes the gems, and he thinks that was a good turn for it. But I think it's destroying PVE by limiting to that because there's nothing to work towards.
okay,
But for adventuring, I mean, other than clearing the zone and getting XP, there's nothing else to work for. And like World of Warcraft, for example, you're always after the next best set of gear. There's something that you're working toward.
yeah,
In this game, other than XP, there's nothing you're working toward. There's no better set of gear. I mean, once crafting is maxed out, and those are the max stats, you're never going to get any better gear than that.
okay.
So I honestly look and say, the artifact gear is great because you start off with the weaker version of it, build it, build it, build it, build it, and it's the best gear you're going to get for your class.
For Bard, for Tame.
Right, for Tamer in this case. I mean, there is a set of gear that you can get in here. It's the Bandit set, and it's used to be a really good set, like amazing. And if you farmed it out and built it up and everything, got it up to epic, it was like extraordinarily amazing.
Okay.
But they don't. I mean, they've pretty much nerfed it down to being worthless because the gem you can get out of it pretty much is what you're after anyway.
Oh,
It's out of the chest piece.
and it takes all my process just to maintain those buff.
Yeah, you're actually playing group play.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys just go murder everything you see.
Hell, your croc isn't even keeping up. You need to teleport him over with
Who
you.
gives a shit about the croc? I don't have time for that. Doesn't know the
Just
way.
make sure he doesn't die.
Oh, he can't die on his own.
Well,
I will
if
just
he dies,
rest.
you'll lose him. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just
Yeah.
that's the only reason.
If he dies, it's on his shoulder, not mine.
But that's really for PVE. That's the thing this game is missing more than anything. Is a goal, something to achieve.
Yeah, giving something to grind. Yeah, here it is, my croc. Came back. See? Just right like nothing happened.
Run out of focus so quick. Vesper knows this maze a lot better than I do.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, there's a PvP version. He's guaranteed he's done a lot in here.
Why?
Because used to be a giant PvP arena on the PvP side.
What do you mean?
There's a PvP maze which is the exact duplicate of this, but it doesn't have the tower in the middle. There's still an event, but you're in PvP mode.
Oh. And it's not here. You access it from somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's still somewhere here in Tartarus.
Okay.
Yeah, but let's put it this way: if I would switch to my build to what he's playing right now, my damage would be something totally different. I have to go soon. Dinner's about ready. Hell, today and yesterday have been the longest we've actually been able to actually run and get XP and play.
Isn't it fun too? I am having a blast here. That's what I like about the game, but I was feeling like, feels like lonely. No one's is grouping, and that's not. It feels like it's not the culture of the game.
I'm actually really happy Vesper came and joined us though,
Yeah, too. I would love you
because
to join on the channel. He did the last time.
he really is really freaking awesome about joining groups though.
Oh yeah.
No, yeah, him and like I said, him and I have done Breach together. Like it's only been a couple times, but no, I know he's buddied or with my buddy Eric. He's grouped with him in the Breach before, and then he's got a buddy Sarah, Sara, Sarah. I don't know how they pronounce it, but yeah, I've played with that his buddy there, and he's also a really good player too, and he's killed me several times in the Breach, and I've played with him in the Breach.
Yeah.
They're really close buddies. Turning myself around here, getting lost.
You know that I'm just checking my cards and I'm using my peripheral to see where you're going. It's insane, man.
dinner's ready. I gotta go.
Be good to be somewhere else.
I'm just gonna go ahead and log out here. It'll put me at the front, then I'll just work my way out later.
Yep.
But yeah, it was fun, man.
Yeah. See ya, man. That was a long session of XP. That was super dope. Yep. What? Okay, let's start that.